Good morning, and welcome to the Demons Clubcast episode 5 with your hosts K13, Mad Dog, and Meanjoegreen, and myself, UncleChowdr. And today we are joined by special guest L0wes.
Hello.
Why don't why don't we start with a little bit about L0wes? Why don't you tell us about yourself a little bit, my friend?
All right. Well, I am a streamer as well. I've been doing it for a little over a year and a half, I think. Go to work full time and then come home, throw these headsets on, and it's just my little escape to the world. And it's just something I really enjoy. Meet a lot of great people. Met more real people gaming than actually in the real world. Sounds sad to say, but something I enjoy.
Heck yeah. No, I can agree with
that.
that.
Dude,
Yeah.
Big facts. I think all of us can agree with that. I mean, even Joe hit on it last week, just saying we don't even walk around and recognize the world that we're in anymore. So
Yeah, it's ruthless.
I was talking with the squad last night about it, dude, and just some of the shit that we've met through the online gaming has been some of the best connections and friendships I've ever had.
Yeah, I would have never met
Five
any of
of
you guys
us,
if it wasn't for
five
this.
of us and fucking included.
Except for Kyle.
Yeah, except me.
Jackass.
me and L0wes go way back to junior high, so.
Big facts.
Okay.
Also funny that at that same time we were all from the same 30-mile area.
Right, yeah, exactly. Small world, man.
Yeah. I think it's awesome. I find it really awesome that a lot of us are living in different places and all these different separate places, but we ended up coming together for a podcast. I think about it all the time. I think it's awesome. And
Yeah.
I've known Steven for a long time. Matter of fact, I think the first time I met you, you ran into my cousin's car outside of Sheck.
No, probably.
I
That
think-
sounds like a jackass move I would pull.
I think that's what was happening. I think you were doing donuts. It was either you or Dustin. I don't remember, but someone
my
was
God.
doing
Probably does.
Yeah, someone was
Shit.
doing donuts in the parking lot and made too much dust and didn't see the cars parked. And yeah, it was pretty funny.
Whoops.
But
Yeah.
let's hop right into what we've been playing. Why don't we start with our guest L0wes? What games have you been playing lately?
Call of Duty Warzone, of course.
Of course.
And I've been on Sons of the Forest. I've been getting back on that hype. I kind of got into the whole GTA roleplay, but the server isn't necessarily like for me. I don't know how to say it without sounding like a prick, so I'm not gonna say anything. But gotta find the right server that I feel more comfortable in, I guess you can say.
Okay.
But
It's understandable. It's such a big scope, like that game, and then GTA as well. Like, that's a massive community.
yeah, it's fun, dude. It's like I didn't know how much detail there is in the roleplay gameplay.
They take that shit seriously, bro.
So
Yeah.
serious, but yeah, the people I did play with, they're more like hood than me, and like me, little old white boy. it's a little awkward to act that way. So
Yeah.
I haven't been on that lately, but
I'm surprised that you didn't go for.
it's fun though.
I'm
It's
surprised.
a commitment.
I've always
Yeah,
wanted to
for
do
sure.
that, but be in the role of a police officer in one of those, because I watched one for a long time where I love all the AI integrations that they've put in and all the voice commands. Like you can like radio in, "Hey, Epic, welcome." You can radio in to you can radio into headquarters, and like people will definitely like it'll show charges and stuff. It's pretty interesting actually, the whole role playing community in GTA. And so why don't we start then go to Mad Dog? What have you been playing?
I mean, same as it has been. Honestly, it's been
Good old Warzone.
mostly Warzone, and then I've been doing multiplayer on the Forest, which is the first game to Sons of the Forest that L0wes was talking about. So unfortunately, it's the only one out on console so far.
Okay.
But yeah, I've been doing the multiplayer on that, so I just like go around, join random lobbies, fuck around a little bit, and then I just quit. Just bouncing around like that, dude. That's literally about it.
That game will keep you so busy for so long. Like time flies.
Yeah, dude. I'll sit there. get on. And I was like, all right, whatever. I'm gonna play a little bit. Next thing you know, I look at the clock and it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh shit. Like, and then there's so much fucking like suspense in. Although, I mean, the enemies now, after playing so much multiplayer, the enemies now are just like I fucking fight them all the time. But there's so much that eerie suspense in it that 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm just like, fuck, I can't go to sleep. Hell no, fucking legs bouncing. Like, where the fuck are they? Dude, this shit's addicting.
These games are. I like when a game gets you like that. That's one of my favorite things about video games, when they keep you up. Like I like all types of games, but some games will make me fall asleep. Like I love Forza, but I can't play it when I'm kind of tired, because just going around the track, like after you get the rhythm down, and
it's
like
too realistic, man. It's like driving in real life, like driving cross country. It'll make you sleepy.
Yeah, it does. It starts to make me sleep, dude. And like I hate it because I love playing Forza, but I start to get sleepy. So I love when I find a game that's like, it just keeps me up and keeps me going. Like that's why I have to like call it kind of early lately on Warzone, I've been finding, because like if I keep playing Warzone, I will just keep going.
Yeah. You just have to make that like, nope, I gotta be done.
Yeah, I do. I have to make that a thing, because I definitely get freaking, I get sucked into it. And on a side note, thank you for the follow, Epic. I appreciate you. Make sure, if you haven't followed all these wonderful people who have commented, and I'm gonna put some tags in the thing for people to follow as well. But
run out of room.
Yeah, I did run out of room. Joe, why don't we start with what you, and then go to what you've been playing, Joe?
Sorry, I was muted. I've been juggling a shitload of games. You know, I'm always dipping my toes back into Baldur's. There's just so much to do in that game. I'll never see every bit of content in that game.
That's
Mario
awesome.
Wonder, but I've also been emulating a lot of older games.
Okay.
We were talking about it in the last pod, and I was like, man, I would really like to play some old Super Nintendo games, so I've been doing a lot of that.
Oh, sweet.
Hell yeah.
That's cool.
That's about it.
Heck yeah. I mean, the retro games are always good, and it's cool to see that those are kept alive in so many different ways. You know, be it someone who's collecting the consoles, and or emulating the games on PC. Both of them are, it's both an excellent thing. Hey, Lutzy, welcome to the pod. Live stream today, so welcome in.
Yeah.
And then Kyle, what have you been playing?
I continued a little bit further with Alan Wake. They gave me the option to play as either Saga or Alan once you get back from his flashback. And then I just continued as Saga, though, just because she's a new character, and just wanted to check out the area a little bit, see if there's anything new that opened up. So I spent a lot of time just wandering.
Okay.
Which I'm probably going to do a lot of for this first playthrough, and then we'll do the hardest difficulty once I beat it, and then go easy mode, find all the collectibles.
That's probably the next game I'm going to play is Alan Wake. Like both, like the whole series. I'm just going to play both back to back.
They're so good, and the second one's like really awesome so far. How they kind of mend time and reality, and just all the puzzles you have to do. It's been really fun so far. But other than that, just Warzone.
There's so many games on my backlog still, honestly. I say that, but I'll probably not play it and play it 10 years from now or something.
Right. Yeah.
Can I just make a side note of still to this day how great it is to hear Kyle use the word Warzone and play in the same sentence positively?
Well, also Modern Warfare 3, since that came out. So
we're on strike for a little bit.
He's almost jaded like me, guys.
So I saved myself for last because it was kind of a good way to segment into our first big topic. And Lutzy, I don't want to play hardcore WoW with you. I'm sorry.
I might get down on that, man. Peace out, guys.
Okay, you got Joe down. You got Joe down. You got one down.
You have to lose a host.
So I've been playing Warzone and Modern Warfare 3. I finished the campaign just before the launch. Very short, very different, very lackluster. I mean, there were some cool parts of it, and the story, honestly, the part that annoyed me the most is, in my opinion, and I found that Maddie kind of shares, Mr. Maddie Plays shares the same opinion. It picks up near the end, which is dumb. Like they did a great job of making the story really interesting right at the end and having some big things happen right at the end, and then that's the end of the campaign. So I'm assuming we're just gonna see more in cutscenes, which disappointing, but it is what it is. I didn't really buy it for the campaign.
I mean, I can tell you the answer to it. It's the fact that it's like a 16-month development cycle, and they just didn't have the time. That there's some very talented people there, and you can see, some glimmers of good moments, but they just didn't have the time, and that's what it boils down to.
They didn't have enough time to finish that, and so, like I said, I'm sure like they usually do, we'll just see more of the story and cutscenes as each season comes, which is what it is. As for the multiplayer suite, I'm having a great time with the multiplayer. The reduction of the visual recoil has been really nice on all the weapons, so everything shoots really smooth. Hey, Big Blue, welcome in. Appreciate you. Um, and I've been enjoying the way that feels. I'm not a huge fan of this new system with the armory unlocks and like how much content is locked behind daily challenges, and like some people are complaining thinking that you can only unlock one item per day. You can unlock more items per day, but it just depends on how many matches you're winning, because you get those 3 dailies, and then your bonus challenge after that is every win you get 1 point. And so like I noticed yesterday, because I played for like 9 hours yesterday, and I unlocked like 3 different items out of the armory, which I thought was a little bit, I thought it was just kind of counterintuitive, but at the same time, I am already level 55, so had they put it the normal way, I'd have everything unlocked already, and I'd be sitting here like, well, I guess it's just time to camo grind. So it does give me something to go for, I guess, but I can see everybody's irritation, and I understand why everybody's irritated, because it is kind of irritating to me as well.
Well, that's one side to see it for sure, but like realistically, you said it yourself, like you would have had it done, but like this is just artificial difficulty.
Yep, that's all it is.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's artificial is all it is, and that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, there's both.
It's underbaked as fuck.
Yeah, I can see both sides to it. I don't really personally like it, but I see both sides to it. I do enjoy though that everybody is fighting a little bit harder for objectives and trying to fight hard to win.
Actually win.
Yeah, so I have been enjoying that. And for solo players, that piece of gear that we talked about in the last podcast, the ACS, that field upgrade is actually hella useful. Like when I'm playing solo by myself,
I've seen it used pretty well.
Yeah,
it's been nice.
In the distance that you can throw it is really nice as well. I hope they don't get rid of that, because you can throw it a good distance if you know what you're doing with it. And I've been practicing trying to get it good at throwing, and so like you can be off of a flag and throw that thing onto a flag by yourself and start capturing it, and you can defend from a different location. So it does make it really useful, especially like hard point dominations, where I've really found it the most useful. That's what I like to play when I play multiplayer.
Throw it on B and just watch it.
Yep. But as for Warzone, I am still playing Warzone with you guys when everybody's playing, because not everyone has Modern Warfare 3, and I got some pretty decent clips. The difference between the two is I can definitely feel it when I'm playing it, like the slowness in Modern Warfare 3, but the other thing I really notice is that TTK, man, the Modern Warfare 3 TTK has been increased a noticeable amount. It's a noticeable amount, and so I'm definitely interested to see how that's going to affect Warzone, when it comes down to it. And as for the zombies, the solo experience is a little strange. I loaded in with a squad, and we ran around together for a while, and everybody was doing pretty good of sticking together. And like, I like that they just give you a huge map, and there's no gas, at least as far as I could tell. I was only in the match for about 15 minutes, and my teammates took off, and then I went down and no one picked me up. But like, I was enjoying going around with the guns that I had, it's like you load in like DMZ, and you you choose what you want. You choose your operator, and then you get a little bit of gear, and you load in like DMZ, and then there's a whole bunch of different contracts on the map that you can do. And one of the things I enjoyed doing was there's these like houses that are on the map, and then there's like a bunch of these like little gas like pouches in different places inside the house, and the house is like toxic gas when you go in, so you have to try to find a gas mask and then fight zombies and blow up these little pouches on the house while you're doing it. And after you do that, you get a bunch of rewards, like stuff that you can extract with to get money to like insure your weapons or buy other stuff from the black market. I'm pretty sure is what that cash is for.
Cool.
So, it's not going to be for everyone, because I'm sure a lot of people were wanting that classic zombies experience with the rounds and the round based zombies, and I totally understand I understand both sides. I'm enjoying this new zombies experience personally. I think I'll enjoy it much more once I have friends to communicate with and we're running around with vehicles and doing objectives and stuff, because
yeah, I mean, we can all make our own fun for sure.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I don't think it was a creative choice to go the route that they did. It was just, again, lack of, I was watching Noah J456 play it. He's, very OG zombie player. He was the one that did all the Easter eggs. He was, first in the world a few times to do a lot of things. But like comparatively, what this was the one thing that I was maybe considering getting back into COD, because I heard Treyarch had a hand in it, but oh my god, it pales in comparison. There's no story. It's just, I'm sorry, but it's just sad. It's it's just lost potential. I mean, and I get that there's fun to be had there, and it's good to be positive about the good things and give credit where it's due, but the fact of the matter is it's like it's just a slap in the face to the community. And like if that's how they want to do it, and that's fine. Like, I haven't played COD in a long time, but this was maybe the opportunity that I was seeking to get back into it. But it's honestly pathetic, to put it kindly. It's really sad.
I mean, yeah,
I don't know. I
That is
haven't
all.
played the zombies yet, but I've dug the multiplayer so far. Other than I think it's cheesy that they're just rehashing old maps. I hate that, but
Everything is recycled. This is literally like the same game. Like, they sold the same game again for $70. There's bugs coming up on people's menus that says enter Modern Warfare 2 disc. Like, this is literally the same exact game for like, if you look at the core issue, this is the same game. It was never intended to be a premium new title. It's just a slap to the face to everybody, and I hate to be Mr. Jaded, but like, I really wanted this to be good. I wanted them to knock it out of the park. I want to play COD with my friends. Don't get me wrong. I hate hating COD because everyone fucking plays COD. Like, I want to have a good time with it. That's, that's my prerogative on it. They're just slowly, dividing the community. Like, the zombies community is gone now.
Yeah, you're definitely not wrong.
I mean, it's just sad. That's all.
I wish there was more options. Like, I can definitely get behind the new zombies appeal. But like, why aren't there still round?
I just can't get behind a 16-month
like
development cycle. You know what I mean? Like, these things usually take 3 years to put together, and they try to do it under a year and a half.
Yeah,
like, that is
time.
That's
if anything,
disgusting.
Gave us the option to choose which like rounds or big world zombies. That would have been at least a little better.
Yeah, they
could like your AAA studio. That's what I always go back to.
They
like,
give the developers more time.
They could have sectioned off a couple places in Urzikstan and made it, made a whole separate mode where it was just round-based zombies, like the good classic experience. Like, that map is plenty big enough to do something like that.
Yeah,
I just don't see the point in shooting yourself in the foot. Well, you could easily make a good zombies like they used to, and like, you could sell it separately for the people that only want zombies. Like zombies used to be so good that they would sell it as a separate package. You didn't even have to buy COD. You could just buy zombies for like $30, and it was a fucking. It was such a great deal. It was so good.
Yeah. No.
Once money gets thrown into it, and people who make all the money and make those decisions start making those, like, they take charge. You see it all over the gaming industry. I mean, like, look what's happened to EA.
It's EA and Activision are the two big ones. It's not like there is a lot of scummy shit going on in the industry, but as far as greed goes, like those two are the worst. I don't play EA games and I don't play Activision games. I just don't.
When games get rushed out, I mean, there's multiple examples of it. Cyberpunk 2077 was absolutely rushed out because I'm sure there was, and that's the thing, is like behind closed doors, no one really knows. None of us know what the conversations are. But, to my assumption, there's a bunch of dudes in suits sitting around a table who have no idea actually what the fuck goes into making a game. And they're like, how come we're not seeing a return on investment on this?
Absolutely.
Someone's in fucking trouble.
That game still had 7 years as opposed to 16 months. There was a creative vision in place. Like they had a huge scope, like a huge creative scope. So I can at least give that game some degree of a pass because they had a creative focus and they just couldn't meet that focus because of problems with their engine. I mean, they were trying to make a good game.
Oh, yeah.
Activision is not trying to make a good game. They're literally just slapping everyone in the face and saying, fuck you.
You think that they'd care more, especially after all the complaints that everybody has been complaining about with Call of Duty and whatnot?
Yeah.
You think they'd take their time with it?
I mean, everybody can complain about it. But it's still top on the sales charts.
They still win.
It's still top on the sales charts right now as we speak.
That's you're proving.
There's a lot of games
everybody's gonna.
We're all still gonna play. There's also a lot of games that get bad reviewed too. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's getting bombed on Steam. It's nowhere near as high as it should be. Like it's still getting beat out. Like Baldur's Gate is still almost has as many players.
Oh, Joe cut out.
Yeah, yeah, big time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
there we go.
Sorry about that. Call of Duty has 160K on Steam right now, and like a game like Baldur's Gate 3 that's been out for months has 150K concurrent right now. Nice. So it's not like people aren't speaking, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's sold really well because it is COD, but like how many more times can they do this? I mean, franchises do die off. Battlefield's dead. 2042 is not coming, or whatever the fuck the name of that game is. It's not making a revival. Like they killed that franchise. EA killed it. So it's just like how it's just everyone has a line, and I think there's going to be a paradigm shift. Like people can't be this, they can't be this lenient for this long. Like it's going to happen. Like Apex is killing Call of Duty on Steam right now. There's almost 100K more people. I mean, PUBG, 330,000 players almost right now.
Yeah, but
it's not doing that well. It's sold really well because it's COD, but
I think on Steam that would be 100% true. But for the people who have a PS5 because their friends have one and they're buying COD because their friends bought COD, they don't give a shit about none of that stuff.
Console sales.
They don't.
So you don't think that any of this is relevant? That like there's more people playing Apex on their PS4s than Call of Duty? Like, you don't think that the human mindset isn't at all the same?
Once again, I do also think that people buy Madden and NBA 2K every year, even though it's the same thing. So it wouldn't surprise me if this is the same situation.
It is. And those games are also like FIFA's really popular, but like Madden's had a huge fall off, and that's why they don't put a lot into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they still release one every year. They still release one every year, and people buy it every year. So it's turned like Joe was talking about this in a video. Call of Duty, just like Madden and NBA, is one of the biggest casual games in the world.
Yeah.
Yes, it has a huge competitive scene as well, but it is also one of the biggest casual games in the world. People just buy it because they're like, oh, a new Call of Duty, I'll play this for an hour after work. But
if the argument is like someone's too big to fail, like that just doesn't hold true. Like no one thought Sega was gonna exit the console market for that matter. You know what I mean? Like it's.
But I feel like
it's
that's
possible.
Eventually, it'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, eventually it will happen. Whatever comes up will come down. I don't care how big you are. Sony will fail. Like Sony won't be around one day. It's just a matter of time. And like
eventually, but
how much people are willing to deal
right
with.
Now.
You know,
they're still rolling good right now.
Exactly.
So.
I mean, that's perspective, I guess. I mean, in their eyes, they're making tons of profit, but in the end, I mean, is it worth killing? Is it worth killing off a franchise? Is my argument.
But that's just.
We also have the ABK deal too. So once everything kind of settles, it'll hopefully mellow out.
But it all plays into exactly what Chowdr was saying. It's a bunch of guys in suits that really only care about numbers. Right. Now, I'm a numbers guy. So, yeah, Joe, the numbers you're saying make absolute sense to me. Yes, this franchise will eventually fucking die if there is not a fucking complete change.
I mean, the numbers are showing already. You know what I mean? It's a slight decline. I mean, but it's showing for a major release.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It should be number 2, number 3, a single player title. I mean, Apex Legends has been around forever. It shouldn't have 100,000 more people than players than Call of Duty. It's just weird.
You're absolutely right. Yes.
It's not to say that it's not successful, because obviously Call of Duty just packs, you know, it has a huge name. It's a huge franchise. People are going to buy it just because of the name, and I don't deny that. You know, if someone's friend buys COD, they're probably going to buy it too. But when someone's friend, you know, enough friends have enough and move on to another game, you know, and they're sick of, you know, bugs and just broken releases, getting charged $70 for what's essentially a DLC, like, it's just, people are going to have enough after a while. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, I've already seen it dip off with some of my friends. Like, we used to always play Warzone, and then once, you know, the cheaters were super prevalent with the Warzone 1 DMR meta, you know, that was a big killing for a lot of my friends.
Top 100 in zombies. Like, that was, like, I was a huge COD fan. Like, I know I'm a huge hater now, but it's only because I loved COD so much. Like, I grew up on this. You know, like, I'm going to be 36 here in a couple weeks, and I remember it being so awesome and looking forward to the next title, and, you know, it being a good thing, like when they were, you know, saying that we're going to pump out more, but, you know, no one expected it to turn into what it did. It's just sad.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately, money and battle passes have just changed the way games are released, especially these big online games.
Yeah.
Thank you, Fortnite.
Yep.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of people pre-released it, and the campaign is so short, and Steam's grace period for returns is so long that people were able to beat Call of Duty's campaign under the grace period of Steam's return period. So that's kind of funny, I thought.
That's great.
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely some, I mean, you know, everybody's the community's definitely split, because everywhere I see on Twitter, you know, no one's even talking about the campaign at this point anymore. I see everybody talking about multiplayer.
No one's talked about the campaign for years, man, and that's the problem right there. Is like the campaign was a huge selling point. Zombies was a huge selling point, and everyone has just swept it under the rug. Like, oh, we don't play that. We don't do this. Like, it's just no one has seen the small declines here and there, and we've just let this go and swept this under the rug. And it's just gonna, the more we sweep it under the rug, the more they're just gonna keep feeding us dog shit. That's the problem.
Well, the thing is once this next iteration of Warzone drops, and it will be free to play again, the numbers will skyrocket once again, and we'll be back in square one.
Yep. The fact is the community, and it's a proven fact, 4 out of 5 of us, despite the fact we're sitting here all in a group circle jerking and fucking bitching about the same thing, 4 out of 5 of us play it.
I mean, I'm still having fun. Like, I see the problems.
I've enjoyed it.
Like,
I'm not here to say that there's not fun to be had here. Like, I can have fun. I can have fun in the stupidest games, you know, with my friends. If I'm playing with my friends, we can make fun. Like, and you know, if you've ever played Minecraft or anything, like, I hate Minecraft, but if I'm playing it with friends, like, it's a great time.
No, absolutely. But that,
you know, and I can have fun with COD, but it's just a matter of putting my foot down. You know, I can't support getting slapped in the face. Like, and I'm not here to say that COD isn't fun and it's bad, but it's just,
I mean,
I've had enough. I've had enough.
I'm here still playing it.
But that's what I mean, right? Like, yeah, Kyle came back. We've all been saying the exact same bitches for the last year, and 4 out of 5 of us play it regularly, and 4 out of 5 of us at this point have spent money on it.
I mean, to be fair,
that's where they're
than most.
Yeah, I'm definitely
I'm glad they're transferring over everything too. Instead of last Warzone,
well,
they
it's not
freaking
transferring if it's the same game. It's just
that's
the same game.
Yeah.
Oh, I 100% support this. It's
you get to keep a lot of the stuff.
Whatnot, yeah.
It's a rebranded DLC. Like,
yeah, I mean, it's not a transfer if they just, it's, and that's funny because I have a Twitter response here to all the controversy about, how much care and love and how we wanted to make this, a first ever sequel and all this, and it just got bombed on Twitter because people are like, it's the same fucking game. Like, you didn't give us a fucking sequel. It's just, yeah. Sorry, I'll stop.
No, like I said, I see both sides to it. From where I stand, and like I said when we were all talking about it the other day, I'm gonna buy what looks like I'm gonna have fun on it, and the last couple days, the multiplayer has been nothing but enjoyment to me. I am not in the same. I don't agree with Kyle. All these old remastered maps, these are the ones that I wanted in Modern Warfare 2 when it first came out. These are the maps that I was hoping they were gonna put in when we started playing Warzone, and they like had that little, the Easter eggs of like the little fake high rise and terminal and that shit. I got stoked. I was like, these are the maps that I want to play on. Like,
Speaking of maps, didn't they have to take down a whole bunch of them? Quarry, Rundown, Scrapyard.
They took
in Hardpoint playlist, Karachi. Like,
they took down a few of them, but they're all back. So, all those maps are back in the rotation for all the multiplayer.
I think it's great to have them, but like they're not creative enough to give us new ones, and the new ones that they do give us,
that's the problem. Like they should be giving the ones that Chow wants for sure, but they should be giving new things. Like everything is recycled. It's the same. It's just the same.
They could have added some more maps, but I am still having a blast.
Yeah, like I'm enjoying it, but I just wish like there's literally no like new maps. It's just Modern Warfare 3 remastered, and we paid $70. So like I wouldn't be playing it if you guys didn't pool the money together. And like I'd be waiting for a sale for like Black Friday or Christmas so I can play with you guys.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. $70.
I'd be looking for the cheapest deal. Yeah, it's crazy.
Like, that's why I haven't gotten it.
If you guys did get it for me, like I'm enjoying it. I think multiplayer's been fun.
$70 for a DLC? You mean like I used to do every year with freaking Destiny? Oh, you're right.
Destiny,
Such a problem.
You're right. No.
Yeah, Destiny is a huge problem. You're right.
I don't have a problem with that.
Like that's why I just don't care.
And that's why it's dying. That's why Destiny's fucking dead right now.
Yeah, and that's totally fine. But again, that's what I want to spend my money on. Like, this is my hobby. I'm not doing anything else. So, like, to me, it was money worth spent because I'm gonna put my time into it. Like, I'm
not here to tell anyone where to spend their money. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to caution people that may be on the fence about this. There's people that are willing to put their head in the sand and. Well, I get it. You only live once. I'm not here to tell anyone how to spend their money, but I'm here to caution people. I'm here to caution people. I'm here to caution people. That's all I'm here to do because there's a lot of scummy shit going on and it's just another perspective. And people should be cautious because it's only getting worse year after year. It's just getting worse. I've been investigating this since I was a child when it started getting really, really bad. Like I want COD to be good. And I want it to thrive. I'm here rooting for it, but they're just slowly shooting themselves in the foot. And anyone can spend their money however they want, but I'm just saying if we keep on accepting it and don't be a little bit loud about it and just praise them over and over again, they're just going to keep feeding us the same shit.
Yeah.
I feel like it took a dump after Warzone 1. Like everything went to shit after that.
Yeah, because battle passes were, doing their thing, and now they're the only thing.
Yeah, battle passes and free-to-play models, that did not help anything, but it was basically after Black Ops 3 where things really started to, when people started leaving in droves from Treyarch, you know, all the talent is gone now, and that's the problem. Like all those people are long gone.
Oh, definitely. Like
Did you guys see that clip?
I see both
Go
points.
ahead.
I see both points, but I also would like to point out that we do need to tell them what they are doing right so that they continue to do those things right. Because if we sit there and tell them all the shit that we hate, what if they change the things that we do like, the things that as a COD playing community we do enjoy? Like right now, where the movement's at, it needs to stay there. Everybody was super pissed about Modern Warfare 2 movement. I know that for a fact. I heard everybody bitch about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we should definitely give credit where credit's due. But
Yes.
like when we're talking about core issues and just absolutely recycling one game and selling it as another, I think that's a huge problem.
Oh no, it is a problem. And they from the very beginning, I first said it was gonna be DLC, and when they changed it to a full game release, I knew it was gonna be this situation. Like
Well,
from
funny
the
you say it.
beginning.
I have a whole investigation that Jason Schreier did about it because a lot of people came out anonymously from the development team of Activision, and they were told that this was going to be a DLC in the beginning, but some people weren't, and so this was either some kind of mass miscommunication or just.
Because I remember that rumor floating around right from the beginning. Well, it wasn't right from the beginning. It was like right after Modern Warfare 2 released. That rumor started floating around. One of the guys I watch on YouTube was talking about it, that a year after this release, we were supposed to get like a year 2 DLC, is what he called it.
Okay, Jason Schreier said, this is backed by dozens of devs, even though PR for Activision is denying this was even supposed to be DLC. So PR at Activision is absolutely denying that this was ever supposed to be DLC.
Yeah, see, and the rumor was floating around the COD community right after Modern Warfare 2 came out, pretty thick. Like, and you know how insiders are. I'm sure there's people who have friends on the inside who probably got the same information. So, it's to me, I bet you it was a decision somewhere higher up because they knew they were gonna make a decent buck off of it if they did it this way instead of a year 2 DLC.
Yeah, it's gross. And there was extreme crunch. Like a 16-month development cycle is so unhealthy. And that's just one of many reasons why I can't support a title like this is like dozens of devs from Sledgehammer have come forward stating that they have felt betrayed, that they were promised that they would never have to undergo such deadlines like this, crunch for 16 months to make a full-fledged COD game. It's actually insane. And
I hope that
Microsoft
makes no some changes.
But they won't. You know what I mean? They sadly can't. I mean, to have that level of management, they've killed off so many IPs already. My problem with Game Pass is I said it in the last pod, like all this money that's going to third parties and this and that, like could just be going towards development of good old games. Like God forbid you create a fucking studio and just make some IPs or just not kill off the IPs you already own. Like some of the costs that they were sinking into Game Pass to keep some of these games on Game Pass were reaching into hundreds of millions of dollars to keep them there for months and months and months. And when it's reaching the cost of what it costs to, sorry, my dog is coughing. When it's reaching the cost to develop a game, it just stops being cost effective, and it's just missing the vision of being a creative in the gaming space, in my opinion.
Well,
like,
I think
who are you? What are you here to do? You're just here to make money, and it leaves a bad taste.
We all know what their real target was in that purchase. It wasn't Activision and it wasn't Blizzard. Microsoft has been talking about wanting to get into the mobile space for a long time, and they got King with that purchase. The makers of Candy Crush, the OG addiction of phone gaming. Like at this point, it's it's one of those things where I looked at that and I was like, that was blisteringly obvious to me. I was like, yeah, they're gonna get the bonuses of making the money off of the stuff that's already going on at Blizzard and Activision, the live service stuff that's already making money, and their games going to other places to sell. But they're definitely going after King there more than anything, in my opinion. And
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's the moneymaker there. The mobile space is where the money's at.
Yeah, and Microsoft
we're talking 70% of all money generated in gaming comes from the mobile space.
Yep.
70% of all income generated is from mobile.
Yep.
All around. So
they definitely went for that. So I'm just waiting to see what's going to happen in the next couple of years with all of this shit that they bought, because the purchase went through, and we talked about that shakeup with the management. I think it was episode 3. I want to say we talked about that.
So.
You know, we got Matt Booty. I think he's running the studio side of things, the software side of things, and Sarah Bond is running the hardware side of things, but they both still answer to Phil Spencer. So they're switching things up. So I'm interested to see in the next couple months how all of this shit shakes out and the changes that they're going to make, because people are going to talk from the inside. So rumors will start to fly eventually. We're seeing layoffs all over the place. So I'm wondering how long until that affects Microsoft, because they have all these people now. They just got another huge 3 studios and all of the people that work under there. How long are all these people going to be able to work there until they start getting laid off? We've seen layoffs at Microsoft already this year, and Sony, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, they can't afford the bad PR. I mean, Xbox can't, is what I mean. And there's been huge outcry to stop the annual development, after thousands of people returning the game on Steam and encountering, game-breaking bugs and what's essentially the same game for $70. So hopefully Xbox can do something, but I don't see them doing a whole lot. And, the vision of COD, I guess, because ultimately, it's like you said, they just want to make money too.
Yeah, I mean, everybody just wants to make money, but it would be nice to see them at least take it off of a yearly release cycle.
Yeah, maybe give them at least 2 years, not 16 months, dude. That is so gross. I feel so sorry for that development team. They must have went through hell.
Yeah, give them a couple years. And that the other thing is, it would give the COD games each time to breathe. You know what I mean? I hate
this. And the developers, man, God forbid they don't work fucking 17-hour days.
Exactly.
And it's just gross. I can't get behind it. I can't subscribe to it.
I'm going to take a dab, and then we're going to change into a brighter tone here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know what it is.
Let's all talk about just how fucking excited we are for a GTA 6 trailer.
Seriously, dude, Rockstar, give it to us already.
I also just want to point out that we talked about it before IGN even posted an article about it. Okay,
very true.
Very true. So we beat them to the punch.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But I just one studio that does not miss it's rare that they miss is Rockstar, and the things that they make are usually just so fucking awesome. So to get the news from Rockstar that we're finally going to get a GTA 6 announcement trailer December, next month, early December. And honestly,
early December.
A lot of people are thinking it's going to be at the Game Awards, because the Game Awards are December 7th. That's the rumor. That's the theory.
That's so early. I love that.
But the thing is, though, I'd like to point out, and I think some people might agree with me on this, is that Rockstar and GTA, it's big enough. They don't need the Game Awards. They could drop a fucking Twitter post with the video on it, and that shit will break the internet.
Millions.
That's what I hear. There's way too much anticipation behind this game.
Dude, how long have they been making this game for? 5-6 years?
Oh, it has to have been longer than that.
Dude,
GTA
5's been out for a decade.
Yeah, GTA 3 or GTA 5 originally came out on the PS3 and Xbox 360, man. I've
seen little clips here and there, and the graphics look amazing.
Yeah, the leaks that came out, I have to say, I seen pictures of the leaks. I never watched any of the videos, because Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption games are the games that, I will watch any of the content that comes out that's official content from the studio, but as far as leaky stuff, spoiler stuff, I stay far the fuck away from it, because those are the games I like to be completely surprised in, and just I'll never forget the first time I got to play GTA 5, the story, and just fucking running around like that. Every time those games come out, it's a fucking cultural event. So
they always change.
I still play
like,
that
gameplay.
campaign, dude. I just played it a couple weeks ago. It still holds up to this day.
Yeah,
I mean, if
played
you
it like
mod it
5
on
times, I
PC,
think.
man, it's so good.
Well,
There's so many good mods for that.
Now that and there is some shit talk to be had there about Rockstar. They've released Grand Theft Auto 5 so many fucking times now.
Yeah.
I have to laugh.
People keep buying it.
I know people. It's just like Skyrim. It's just like Skyrim, dude. How many places
It's like
can
an
we
entry.
put this?
It's like an entry into manhood, though. If you
Yeah.
haven't bought GTA 5 and played through the campaign, you're not a gamer. You're not a real man.
The campaign is it's such a good story, and that's why I'm so excited for this next one, because like Rockstar is really good about pushing their games. They make the next one better. They make the next one have iterations. It will feel different. It will feel better. It will look better. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, just I remember the jump from GTA 5 just to Red Dead Redemption 2. That was impressive as fuck. Like
Tremendous.
So
yeah, they always change gaming in some shape or form. Like Rockstar's amazing.
And GTA 6, whatever GTA 6's online component's gonna be. I mean, my God.
Oh my God.
Again, here we go.
I was kind of gonna bring that up. I wonder if they're just gonna keep that like its own separate entity. Because the thing with these, online games and like constantly updating them, like having these really high res assets, and like at the time it was really hard for them, and they said that like they probably would have cut back GTA Online a little bit and not based it around the entire world, because that does affect the development and the scale of keeping that world running and not crashing all the time. I wonder if it's going to be like a totally separate entity moving forward, or if they're just going to keep supporting GTA Online.
I mean,
because people are still playing that actively and putting millions of dollars into it. So why would they do something new in that aspect if GTA Online is barely even having a decline?
No, I think 110% they're going to, because you can buy Grand Theft Auto Online separately in the Xbox store right now and buy just Grand Theft Auto Online, and I think you can do it on PlayStation as well. You can own just Grand Theft Auto Online. So it would not surprise me at all if that's what they do going forward, because they did the same thing for Red Dead Redemption 2 Online. Even though they fucking shit the bed with that online, I don't even like to talk about that one because they missed out on so much potential there. But
I know, right, man? Yeah. I would be playing that now if they supported it. Honestly,
dude.
That would probably be my main game, dude. That's what I'd be hopping on the homies with.
Me and Ty put way more hours into that game than anybody I know. And I'm gonna tell into the online. Like, I have everything that you can possibly have in that shit, and I just the amount of missed potential for Red Dead Online is so sad to me. But GTA, I mean, that's why we always found ourselves going back to Grand Theft Auto Online, because of the just sheer amount of things that you can do. And if they do anything remotely close with that, with a whole new map, new physics, new cars, all the stuff, I mean, we're talking about something pretty incredible here.
Well, that's what I kind of meant. I don't think they're going. I don't think they're going to, though, is what I meant. I think they're just going to keep supporting the current GTA Online, just like any MMO, like Final Fantasy 14. Like, look at the way it looks. They've slowly updated the graphics in that engine for that game, like over time, or like even World of Warcraft. It doesn't look the same as as it always has. I think they're probably just gonna keep focusing on the existing GTA Online. If I had to guess, I mean, why wipe all of that and all the time and resources they put into that? I mean, people don't play GTA Online for the graphics and shit. Like, not to say that they won't update it once it's at that point, but like, in my opinion, like the graphics in that for an always online game like that, it still holds up comparatively to other games. You know what I mean? There's not a whole lot of games that have high res.
If you have the next gen console versions, because I paid to get the next gen console version just for the updated 60 frames and the better textures, it even holds it's even better looking than the other ones. It looks
fine to me.
So I mean, it's I just personally, I think what they're gonna end up doing is putting, and this is just my guess. I think they'll put a skeleton team on the current existing Grand Theft Auto Online and quit adding big updates to it and just maintain it running. But I think they're gonna use the fact that they have this brand new map to put a GTA Online on. I think people would go gangbusters, and again, I think it would make them so much money. I think that's where I think that's probably where their brain's at. I think it would sell so much because, I mean, a whole new map to go run around and explore with your friends. I think that's what people are going to want to do personally. Like, I mean, I could see them going your route, Joe, and just keep adding stuff to the current existing GTA Online because that makes sense. But I think with a whole new map that they're adding and all this new stuff, I think people are going to want a new online experience to play with their friends.
I think people certainly want that for sure, but it was like I think of it in like the transition from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. Like I was fucking pissed, man. I was like, why? It looks exactly the fucking same. You know, not to say that GTA, the new GTA Online would, you know, be exactly the same, but it just seems unnecessary to leave all that behind. And there will be a huge portion of the player base that has dumped literally thousands of dollars into GTA Online,
Mm-hmm.
and if they have to leave all that behind, they're gonna be fucking mad.
Well, yeah, and
I don't
that's
see why they can't just update the map.
Well,
It would be a massive update, but you know.
But yeah, that's what I mean. That would be adding on to the current GTA Online, unless they did a
Yeah.
full-on transfer somehow. But that's way more work to transfer one thing from one engine to a completely new engine. It just doesn't work that way.
I
don't know, maybe have like two maps playable, and then you still have all your houses and stuff at one map, and then you'll have like a loading screen to transfer to like the new map. I don't know. But like
I
feel like
I
there's
think they'll
options
just
rather
add
than just
technologies to
wiping
the
it.
existing one to make it look more current. Just like Final Fantasy 14 is going through this process now. By next summer, it's going to look more next gen. It's going to be the same engine. They're just going to have a lot of downtime for maintenance, but by the time they're done, it's going to look like a next gen game, but essentially in the same engine. It's just more cost effective to do this, and then it just keeps everybody everyone gets to have their cake and eat it too, essentially. So that's just the route I think they'll go.
Yeah, I mean, none of us know for sure because Rockstar is really good at keeping their shit under wraps. They're very, very good about that.
I'm just going off of like if history repeats itself and
Mhm.
you know they go the route of other successful like you know games as a service types games like this, you know, that's probably what they'll do if they don't want to have a team of thousands of people, you know, contributing to this new engine on this. It's just a lot of work and a lot of effort and just a lot of money, frankly.
I
I can
definitely
see
agree
them
there.
separating it. I can see them separating it. Like you were saying, you can download GTA Online separately. So both 5 and 6 have the ability to access GTA Online.
Yep.
But online stays its own thing. I 100% can see that for exactly every reason Joe just said.
Yeah, no, like
Like,
I agree with
I'm
him.
just saying they're not going to make a new one is all. I just don't think they're going to make a totally new one. I think they're just going to
No, that
keep
seems weird.
pumping their resources, man. The amount of money they make in shark cards every month. Grand Theft Auto 5 is in the top 10 sales every single month since release. It's disgusting. Like it's crazy. They make more money. So why would they stop that? Why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I said I think they'll get Grand Theft
I
Auto
think there'll be a
5.
2.0 version. They'll be like, hey, we're gonna reboot this engine. There's gonna be a month of maintenance, but by the time we're done, we're gonna have GTA Online 2.0, and it's gonna look and feel better and this and that. But I don't think that they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna do it in the engine of GTA 6. I just don't think that's gonna happen.
I just think that's why I said I think that they're gonna go with the point where they get GTA 5 to a point where it's like it's as big as it's gonna get, it's as good as it's gonna get. We're gonna maintain it for everybody to continue playing it for as long as people are playing it, and just not add any more new stuff to it, but focus on the new game. At least that's what I think they're gonna do. So I mean, either one of us could be right. I definitely see where you're coming from.
When
and
it
I
loses
agree with
money,
you.
they will. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I agree with you, and I see all of your points, but I also think they could go. I mean, God, they've made so much fucking money from that game. Who knows what they're gonna do?
They're still making money from it. They
They're
make
reporting
more money than most games every like brand new games, man. Just like with the microtransactions and shark cards, there's people spending thousands of dollars every single week on this game, just individuals. It's crazy.
Yeah, so
there's a lot of reports now that this game's going to be a $2 billion game. So I mean, we don't know what to expect. It's going to be massive, though. Yeah,
Holy
$2 billion, most
hell.
expensive game ever.
Yeah,
That's
I've
insane.
seen. Yeah, we've seen some leaks. Another big thing that I've seen that people have talked about is that
movies don't even get that.
We got there was a rumor floating around that the new GTA was supposed to be like kind of based in the 80s. They're supposed to be like back to Vice City 80s. Well, all the reports that we're getting now is that that's not true, that it's actually in modern times, which makes sense. The integration of the cell phone into Grand Theft Auto was a game changer.
Yeah.
So,
can't take that away.
No, I don't think so. The integration of the cell phone is really important into the gameplay, and now, in my opinion, just the way it works with the calls and all the stuff, and like taking pictures of like things that you have to do for story missions and whatnot. But the map is supposedly like, you keep seeing different rumors about how big the map is, but I can only assume the map's gonna be bigger and better than GTA 5.
It looks like it could swallow up like the last 2 or 3 maps all together.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be massive.
Some of the leaks I've been seeing have been everything from GTA 3.
Where's it based out of? Do you guys know?
It's gonna be a Vice
I don't want to
City.
spoil anything. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's supposed to be yeah, a little bit of spoiler talk. Sorry for those who don't know, but it's supposed to be based out of Vice City. This is the rumors that we're hearing.
Yeah, there's a big beach section on some of the leaks, so I imagine it's kind of the Vice City. So
yeah, I mean, if it's that kind of
it'll be
vibe,
super fun.
Yeah, I mean, it would be kind of cool to see them go to a city that we've not seen yet. A place that we've never been. It would be an interesting change up, to say the least. We've seen the Vegas area, we've seen New York City, if you will. We've gotten all these. It'd be crazy to see something like go Mafia 3 style, go Louisiana to the south, like something like that, or there's a lot of different options you could go.
Like a different country would be cool.
Yeah, a different country would be really interesting as well. That would be really crazy.
Drive on the left side of the road. I don't know.
Oh, dude, don't joke about that.
Bring it back to London.
I think Mexico would be cool, like fucking cartels and shit.
That'd be so freaking cool.
Yeah, Mexican cartel action or some shit.
Yeah, Mexico would.
I mean, we've seen Rockstar do modern. We've seen Rockstar do Western. How about some space? Did a space Rockstar game?
Oh my god. Let me be a space.
That'd be sick.
Just Grand Theft spaceship. That's what.
I would like them to revisit some of their old IP, like that old Bully game was pretty good on the PS2.
Oh yeah.
Back in the PS2 days.
I never played that game.
They made some weird games back in the day.
Also, the Midnight Club series was a Rockstar game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too. I was trying to think of the name. Yeah.
Old school. Lutzy says old school Britain, like Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, dude, that'd be so cool. I'd love that. Thomas fucking Shelby.
No,
all the fucking rice burners. Oh my god, man.
Regardless, I'm sure that this first announcement trailer is gonna be just like Grand Theft Auto 5's. It'll probably be some flyovers of the cityscape. Maybe we'll get to pull out some details. It'll be, we'll see some NPCs walk in. We won't see any of the main characters. I almost guarantee it. It'll be NPCs.
Dude, I can't wait for the modding scene already. It's going to be fucking insane. I've been watching Skyrim mods where they're putting like Chat GPT into the AI of like Skyrim, so you can like actually ask it questions with your voice and it'll just answer. It's so fucking crazy, dude. I can't wait for the modding scene for this game already, because GTA 5 is nuts. You can make that a totally different game with mods.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Are you talking about Contraband?
Is that what that is?
Okay. I think he might be talking about Contraband. That is a game that's under development right now that I know about. That's supposed to be like a 1980.
Tasty.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like. It's supposed to be like 80s heisty stuff, is what I remember. And I forget who's making that one. I don't know. There's quite a few games that are supposed to be coming up in the next little while that I'm pretty excited for. So I don't know. There's so many games coming out. Like Joe said earlier, my backlog is packed full of games that I probably should play, but I can't ever pull myself away from playing Warzone. I'm addicted to that loop. I'm addicted to the gameplay loop. That's my thing.
The unpredictability.
Yeah,
that game's, I swear, it's giving me anger problems. I'm not even kidding.
That's why I stopped, though.
I'm not even kidding.
I get
it's
it.
It's an actual addiction loop, though. Like, just to speak on that truthfully, like they got you exactly where they want you.
Oh yeah, no,
that's exactly what it is. It's addiction. That's why everyone keeps coming back.
Yeah, they definitely got me right where they want me, because I just I can't. I just like the it might be Payday 3. Yeah, Payday 3 did just come out.
Yeah, it was Payday. That's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah, he's talking about that one. That game actually.
Payday 2 was the shit.
Yeah, it's out. I heard it's really good.
Never played him.
I'd play it with you.
I've tried to get into the Payday games. It was never my thing. I like the first person shooter and they look really cool. I guess I'd have to play it with friends.
I think it's Payday 3, Lutzy. It's number 3.
You have
I don't play a lot of games, so
you have to play Payday with friends. Like when
it's a must to play with friends.
Yeah,
you have to.
When I was playing it, dude, me and a buddy were logging in, and we were logging in with like people from France, and it was harder than hell. Like there was no communication, what the fuck ever.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But like the gameplay was fun because you had at least had someone I could talk to. If you got just like Warzone. Get a squad together. The more people that play, the more fun to be had, whether you get shit on or not.
Yeah, it's designed for that. Like it's literally they recommend that you don't play it alone. It's just one of those games where you should absolutely be playing with friends, because that's where the fun's at.
Yeah, like I just, and it was the same thing that kept me going back to Destiny. The gameplay loop was addicting. It is addicting. And, I just, that's the thing I've been really enjoying about Warzone is just yes, it's the same map, but all my matches play out so differently, for the most part.
Exactly.
So it's just
unpredictable.
Yeah, it just keeps me coming back just because it's just, it's what, and I've always been a first person shooter fiend, so it's just kind of my thing that I've been, and I that's why when Starfield came out, it was a nice little break from multiplayer for a little while. I do plan on hopping back into that soon because like I said, the itch is real. I've been fighting it for a minute, and every once in a while I'm like, fuck, I'll try to, and I need to finish the Cyberpunk DLC. That's the other game I still have not finished. The DLC is so good, but I just keep wanting to shoot people after I drop out of this game.
like me and Lowe's are talking about, even Forest. Fucking Forest is addicting as shit, but I keep going back to Warzone just because that's what the homies play.
Yeah,
it's definitely I'll get mad at Call of Duty and I'll jump on the Forest, and it's just it mellows me out because Call of Duty freaking makes me so mad.
As irritating as some of the things that we're dealing with are lately with the gaming industry and stuff, I'm so grateful to be alive right now for games because they're just so awesome.
Yeah, there's still a lot of good games out there that are coming out despite, Call of Duty being ass. And
dude, I've been thinking about re-downloading Hogwarts Legacy.
Systems.
I've been itching to play Hogwarts Legacy again.
It's basically just the live service games that are kind of going to shit. Live service is trying to ruin the gaming industry as a whole, and so there's a bunch of studios trying to jump on that bandwagon because they see all the money there. So in a way it is kind of interfering with the industry, but it's just a matter of which devs decide to go that. Sony, in my opinion, if they keep on forcing all these devs to make live service games that don't want to make live service games, then they're just they're gonna get dog water. Just make devs, let devs make games that they want to make. And I think BattleBit is a great example of that because the graphics are shit. They wanted to make a shooter. It's a shooter with some passion in it. It's just two brothers or some shit that made that game. and it fucking popped off, man, and it's still popping off.
What's the other?
I just miss the creativity.
The other great example that I can give in the opposite direction of a game that shouldn't have been live service that was forced to be live service was Marvel's Avengers.
Absolutely. If that game died so quick.
Yep. If that game wouldn't have been live service, if they wouldn't have tried to make it live service and co-op, and they would have made that game a single player game, like that first trailer that they dropped for that game, I was so stoked watching that trailer. I was like, this game looks fucking awesome. And then after you get it and you get into it and realize that it's a live service fucking piece of shit and they didn't even do a good job at implementing it, the whole, like, it just, like, the movement was cool.
It's just not immersive anymore.
Yeah, the movement was cool in that game. Like, that game had so much potential. That's why, if anybody in this, anybody here or listening hasn't, I highly recommend playing Guardians of the Galaxy. That game is a great example of what a great linear Marvel's game could be, and they could have made Marvel's Avengers like that, and it would have been a fantastic game. Some people might not have liked
Guardians. Ironically, it probably would have made more.
Yep, Guardians of the Galaxy. Some people didn't necessarily like it, but I thought the story was great, the gameplay was great, and it looked good. And it was
I think it was received
game.
Pretty decently.
Yeah, I mean, I know I definitely remember some minor criticisms of the game, but I thought it was a fantastic game. I didn't completely finish it because something pulled me away from it, like always happens. But I watched most of it. The game was great. And so it's sad when games get forced into this live service thing, because some games are just not meant to be that way.
Right.
Yeah, like this Last of Us bullshit that they've been promising for 2 years. Yep. There's supposedly this Last of Us expansion multiplayer. I'm like, why? Well, why the fuck do we need this? I mean, what could they possibly be working on?
From what I remember, the first one was pretty well received on PS3. A lot of people there was a pretty passionate community for the first version of it on PS3.
Yeah, but I think it's like kind of a different scope, because that was just like that was a different time, and it was released on release. Like, this just feels like
they were trying to do something, I feel like, that was like, I almost feel like, from what I understood, they were almost trying to do something that was like Destiny related. Like,
that's weird.
Like, that's kind of the vibe I was getting off of it. And then when they had Bungie look at it, they put it on ice. So I don't know what the hell that team was doing over there, but it obviously wasn't going to work.
Yeah, it got the thumbs down from Bungie, I heard.
Like, I can tell you that the live service games that I've put a lot of hours into in a list go Destiny, and then the second one, the second game series I put a lot of time into was The Division. I don't know if anybody else here played The Division besides myself. I tried it.
I played
one. I played 1 and 2 an extensive amount.
I really liked it. It was a good game.
Yeah, it had the same gameplay loop as Destiny, kind of, except you're not fighting monsters.
That's why I played it.
Yeah,
I think you told me to try it.
Yeah, and I can tell you that the biggest difference is it's a lot. I would say it's a lot more. It's a cover-based shooting game. So it's really about finding cover, shooting from cover, moving to another set of cover.
Kind of like Gears.
Yeah, it's like Gears. Yeah, and those games, like, I wish Division 2 didn't fall off as hard as it did, because that game also was another one that had a lot of potential, but they made some bad choices. Ubisoft.
Yeah, I think the infrastructure is just really hard for these developers to upkeep. Like, there's so much that goes into it, and, like, give credit where it's due. Yeah. Bungie, maintaining this live service and getting bounced around all these years to get funding to keep it going, because when they have their highs, they're really high, but when they have their lows, things get kind of desperate for them. But man, I just wish Destiny wouldn't have gotten so greedy. I think if they just wouldn't have monetized it in the way that they did, because we used to get so much shit, like, I wasn't even opposed to, like, season passes and this and that, but it felt like,
the season passes what I was worth something.
Exactly. Yeah, you felt like you were getting something in the beginning, but then it just, everything was added into the shop. You couldn't just get anything anymore. Destiny is one of the worst monetized games I've ever seen in my life now. It's it's monetization hell.
Yep.
So that's why I stopped. You couldn't. It's a cosmetic game, and everyone's like, oh, it's just cosmetics. It's harmless. Blah blah blah. But when the game is specifically about collecting cosmetics, and everyone's got all this cool shit that they've spent thousands of dollars on, like it kind of like takes the piss out of it. It just takes all the fun out. It just
I mean,
sucks.
My thing with
you can't earn cool skins.
Yeah, my final straw with Destiny was when they released that Twitter post saying that they were having a hard time coming up with seasonal skins, but you see a brand new cosmetic to be paid for in silver like every week, and it's like, dude, you can't sit here and tell me that you guys can't come up with seasonal artifact armor pieces for us, but turn around and give us something new to buy every week in the fucking store. That's bullshit.
Right.
Bro, the first time I quit Destiny 2 is when they did that shit with the shaders in the beginning. Where you couldn't reuse shaders and shit. I stopped playing.
The shaders thing was in the very beginning. I didn't stop playing, but I stopped worrying about my color. I looked like such a jackass for the first bit of Destiny. Yeah, because I just was like, you can, and the shitty part was the shaders, like they still have this system, but now you have unlimited uses. But you had to put a shader on each piece of armor. It's no longer the whole character.
Right.
So to make your whole fucking character match, you had to go find 5 separate shaders of the same color or buy them with glimmer and then put them on. And once you put them on, they're gone. So if you don't have enough to keep upgrading whatever you're doing, or if you're changing your weapons or whatever, customized, you need like fucking 20 different stacks of those shaders.
And there was exclusive ones for raids. Like I did the Leviathan raid and I really loved the shaders, but every time you completed that fucking raid, it had like awesome gold and royal purple shaders that you couldn't get anywhere else. And so you had to complete this raid like 7 times, but even then I was still leery to use these fucking shaders because I'm like, okay, the next expansion's gonna fucking come. I'm gonna want these shaders. Like I just never used shaders. I used 5 shaders through one point, and then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I'm just gonna stop playing for a while. And so I did, and then they did change it shortly after that.
Well, it's because
but oh my god, what a joke that was.
Yeah, the community fucking blew up about it. They were pissed, and rightfully so. I mean, they should have never done that in the first place. That was asinine. I was like, what is this?
There's still an active Destiny 1 community. I don't know if you know that, but there's still a pretty active amount of people that play Destiny 1 just because of all the bullshit, controversies that Destiny 2 had. And I was one of them. Like I was kind of a Destiny 2 hater in the beginning. You know me, I've had my ups and downs with Destiny. It's been a love-hate relationship, and they've always had that hook in me, I guess you can say. But oh my god, yeah, I've always been one of those people where I'm just like, man, why is Destiny 2 even a thing? Because everyone just wants all the shit from Destiny 1. A lot of it is just recycled shit from Destiny 1.
Well, it's like I
really never understood it.
The gameplay loop is addictive, and it's Destiny, and like me, there's probably a couple streams from my early streaming when I first started streaming of me and Joe running through the legendary campaign for one of the new DLCs where
that was brutal. Those were the best parts about the games, man. Yeah, like, I was so happy that they added that. Those were so much fun.
While we were running through, but we were laughing, we were having fun, but we were also laughing because it's like, oh, you know what? I think I've done a mission just like this before. Oh, I've had this content before, but we're laughing about it the entire time because it's like, yeah, they kind of reuse some stuff, but at least there's enough changes here that we're having fun. We're having a good time.
Yeah, but I liked that it didn't feel like they were like holding our hand through it. It felt like old school, like an old school Halo campaign on hard mode or something with your buddy is what it felt like to me. And it was just super, I don't know. It was just like, it was like Bungie back to form, and it kind of seemed like there was a lot of good changes coming when they started doing things like that, but then they just kind of stopped after those legendary campaigns. I'm like, this is great content, and it had great replayability because there was so many people that I ran through that just because there was, the level boost, I think is what it was, for completing it or something like that. So there was incentive to do it, and it was just a lot of fun in general.
Yeah, no, it was I I freaking miss when Destiny was fun. like I really wish it was still in that same spot.
I will say this: there's been exactly one game that's pissed me off so much that I've smashed 2 controllers.
Uh-oh.
And yet I would still go back to that game any day, and that is Destiny 1.
Oh yeah, it's so good, man. That's where it all began for me.
Dude, yeah, Destiny 1. I spiked 2 controllers off the floor because just getting pissed off at missions, but I would go back to it in a heartbeat.
Raids back then were so much fun, man. And it seemed like the community was a lot less toxic back then. Like people wanted to help you get through raids. You didn't have to get online and look at tutorials. Like there wasn't this gatekeeping fucking bullshit, like where people that have done a raid, they're like, oh, you don't know how to do a raid, you're fucking stupid. You know, just figure it out sort of thing. Like the community was so much different back then. And that's what really sucked me in was like I don't know, just the whole attitude around raids just changed somewhere along the lines of Destiny 2, where no one wanted to help each other anymore. And it just felt like everyone was gatekeeping it. It was just really hard to get a team together.
Yeah, no, that was one thing that I did enjoy about Destiny as well. And on Xbox, it was really awesome because they have that looking for group thing on Xbox where you could just, and the Destiny app on the phone has a really good iteration of it too. But I just loved using that because you could just make a group post and it would take like 2 minutes and you got people wanting to come in and help you or run through stuff with you. And so there's always someone willing to run and play Destiny with you. You didn't have to have friends online.
I always found it weird that Bungie themselves didn't implement just something better into the game for matchmaking, like not to make raids easier or anything like that, but I guess they kind of did add that beta thing towards the end or whatever. But it's kind of Bungie's fault in the end that raids were so hard to, I guess, get a group together because there's just a lot of prerequisites and getting that many people together to do that many stages of a raid was just kind of goofy towards the end.
I have to say though, it was always fun to watch the day one raid races. Everybody trying.
Oh yeah, I love those, dude. Like watching Dado and
shit. I mean, Destiny 2 gave us our hardest raid I think we've got, and I took that first team. I forget which the raid was, but I took the first team like 16 hours or something to get through it.
Yeah, it was a long time.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, that was a good one.
So I mean, there's been some great shit that's come out of Destiny. So, I'm hoping that Marathon. I'm just nervous about Marathon, like we talked about last time. You let Tarkov players come in and test that out. What the hell is this game? What is this game?
Yeah, hopefully it's a different spin because it's like I said, not dogging on Tarkov, but hopefully if they go that genre route, hopefully they put a really different spin on it because it's going to take a lot for me to want to be interested in something like that. Honestly, it's very niche.
Yeah, very very niche.
Very niche.
It's cool. It's a cool series. I have nothing wrong with it at all. But it's not for me. The community that's there is very passionate. I watched a good portion of that video you sent me, Joe, about the Tarkov wiggle.
The wiggle.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was interesting, right?
Yeah, very interesting. It's crazy. It's crazy how that kind of stuff can happen inside of a game.
Right.
Yeah, the origins of the wiggle, man. It's pretty nuts. If you guys haven't watched that video, watch it.
Yeah, no, it's very interesting.
Yeah, that was eye-opening for sure.
But video game wise, I think that's all I really got to talk about. I've been really sucked into that good old Warzone and Modern Warfare, so that's pretty much all I got. I know that I heard you guys talking about some hockey stuff last night. I don't know if you guys got anything sports wise to talk about.
Oh yeah, I sure do.
Kyle did have something on those charges coming out of Chicago, right?
Oh
yeah. So I forgot to mention last week. We're gonna kind of backtrack and then also talk about the penalty that the Senators received first, though, because it all kind of ties in. The Senators were penalized a 2024 first and either 2025 or 2026 first for the mishandling of the Evgeny Dadonov deal last year. It's a pretty hefty fine or penalty considering like what Chicago got for the first set of sexual charges and all that stuff that they got. they were only fined $2 million, and only a few executives were fired for the Kyle Beach lawsuit, and that was towards Brad Aldrich, which involved a sexual assault in 2010. Beach reported it to the team. Nothing was done. Aldrich later resigned in 2010 and then later volunteered at a high school in Houston, where he was arrested and then pleaded guilty to fourth-degree criminal sexual conduct with a minor in 2013. If I'm not mistaken, he was also given a recommendation from, I believe, the owner or the president of Chicago at the time. So yeah, kind of shitty. That whole ordeal turned out really bad. I think they settled for money for Kyle Beach and kind of went under the rug. But now there's a new allegation. Where did it go? They're calling it Black Ace, which is a prospect who joins the team for the playoffs but didn't play. So a lot of people have been kind of Google searching the roster and whatnot for that year and trying to pinpoint who it was. It basically mirrors the lawsuit to Kyle Beach with 15 counts of negligence, claiming Aldrich groomed, harassed, threatened, and assaulted, and that the Blackhawks covered up the allegations in 2010, which all appear to be true. So I guess it's just a matter of time when they settle. But a Blackhawk player was chasing Black Ace 1 on the ice, was called the F word, the slur word, was asked if he would, liked that blowjob he gave, and that was in 2014. So, fellow players are literally just mocking this guy because they know.
Jeez.
Original allegations in 2010 with Kyle Beach, he also made mention that Blackhawk players knew, as well as staff and faculty and whatnot. Players like Duncan Keith, Jonathan Tays, Patrick Kane, Director of Player Personnel, Mark Bergevin, they all claim to have not known, but it appears they all kind of did and just swept it under the rug and tried to do whatever they could to cover it up. And now with this Black Ace coming out about it, it's it's stirring things up, and there's a lot of conspiracies with Blackhawks getting the first overall pick to land Connor Bedard, one of the best generational players to come out of a draft since probably Connor McDavid. So it's a big name. If you're not familiar with hockey, you probably won't get it, but for hockey, it's a huge deal, and a lot of this stuff is kind of finally coming to surface, that all these old ass owners and systems that they used to follow are schemy and shitty, and good reporters are finally getting it out there finally. So shitty ordeal, but that's kind of where we're at.
Well, I'm glad the truth is getting out there, though.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Shitty people should be exposed.
Yeah,
big time.
With the Senators being penalized with all of that, there's kind of some theories like they were also running on a skeleton team at the time, so maybe he just kind of overlooked it and missed it. But it's also, there's another side saying, he probably was just trying to get away with it so he can trade into whatever team he wanted and just get the deal done and get his contract out, free up cap space. So pretty easy to uncover who was at fault there. So he has been since fired. I think the next day they fired Pierre Dorian, and then Steve Staios is now the interim GM until further notice.
Okay.
Yeah. For the Leafs, William Nylander is on a 15-game point streak. It's the longest in franchise history to open the season, so he's just continuing that.
Sick.
And then as of like 5 minutes ago, Brandon, my brother, ran in here and told me Jay Woodcroft was fired as Oilers head coach. They've been absolutely dog shit this year, so pretty big deal for Edmonton when you have Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, two basically like automatic 100-point players. But that's it for me for sports.
Okay. I don't really got anything big sports-wise to talk about. I mean, hasn't been really anything that's caught my interest. So,
has anyone heard anything about Project 007?
are you talking about the game?
Yeah.
I know that the people who make Hitman are supposed to be behind it and are supposed to be making it, which tells me everything I need to know that I'm going to like this game. So I love Hitman. I love the Hitman
Well, just
series.
because they're making it doesn't mean that it's going to be like a Hitman game.
Oh
I
no,
mean,
but
just like Hogwarts Legacy, like didn't those people make totally different games before or some shit?
Yeah, no, they definitely made different games, but I have this feeling that it's like the way that Hitman plays, like they're the perfect people to make that game is why I'm excited. Like the way that Hitman plays and the way you can sneak around and do all like take the uniform stuff, like it's probably not going to play exactly like it. I'm hoping it's got a good story behind it like the other 007 games. But I'm excited because they are really good with those types of mechanics. Like Hitman just played so well.
True.
Like that's
why I love those games. Don't get me wrong. Like I love Hitman. They're great games, but I'm not expecting a Hitman game. That's for sure. No. They're probably dying to make something totally new. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I'm not expecting a Hitman 007 at all, but I am expecting them to use all of that great knowledge they have of like those secret agent mechanics, like the way that you play, the way that you can play Hitman. Yeah. Like I think it has the potential to be an absolute banger of a game. That's why I'm so excited because I think they're the perfect studio to make that game.
Yeah, that's probably true for sure. They're definitely the right people to do it.
Oh yeah.
I guess it's just a matter of their interpretation, I guess.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not too Hitman-y. Like I love Hitman, but I hope they go a totally just crazy direction, honestly. Let the creative juices flow.
Oh yeah, I don't want them to like give us the Hitman experience but 007. I hope it's like I want a linear story, like something you can follow along, like a good story and like I would really
the story's basically written already. I mean, it's 007. You can make any story out of that.
Yeah,
so.
any book.
Yeah, for real.
There's so many different ones that they could use. I've played so many different James Bond games. One of my personal favorites was on the OG Xbox. It was James Bond from Russia with Love. It was like a third person one, and I think it was based on the Roger Williams James
I had
Bond's.
fun with all those old titles. They're all so good.
Yeah, that was one of my personal favorites. There was a couple of the first person ones that were based on the Pierce Brosnan movies that I really enjoyed as well. But for a James Bond game, this is just me. I like it a little bit better when it's third person. I like that, like like the Splinter Cell style, like third person sneaking around. I really enjoy that gameplay.
Yeah, it gives you more. It gives you more of that tactical.
And since we're back on games, I'm sure, I don't know if everybody knows about this, but Ubisoft essentially confirmed that they are working on a new Splinter Cell, like a reboot. I'm really hella nervous about it, but I'm also excited to see what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic, I think is the right word.
Yeah, I'm nervous. Considering that Ubisoft could put their filthy fingers in it and ruin Splinter Cell, but I'm also hoping they give us something that is just beautiful. Like, who
owns Siphon Filter? Is that Ubisoft that does Siphon Filter as well? I can't remember now.
I think so.
I liked those games. Those were good.
But yeah, hopefully, considering Ubisoft is the latest to throw in more layoffs. It's like about 5 days ago they laid off by another 124.
989 Studios. It was I guess an old Sony studio is who published it, or was the publisher, and then the developers were Bend. So Bend Studio, I don't recognize that. That's probably why they're not around anymore.
Yeah, no, I definitely would love, I'm excited. I like those secret agent style games, and I played Splinter Cell a shitload back in the day. So I'm hoping, and I will, like we talked about, we can give Ubisoft its flowers where it's due. The change up from what Assassin's Creed was between like between, I forget what the last title was before Odyssey. That change up, I thought Odyssey was such a nice, refreshing change to what Ubisoft, like the Assassin's Creed formula and what it was. It necessarily wasn't what an Assassin's Creed title anymore, but the change up was nice. I really enjoyed the open fighting style and the difference in fighting in that game. And Odyssey is actually one of my favorite games ever, to be honest. I love the the setting and all of the different, like, you could go fight the Minotaur. It was sweet, you know? Like I really enjoyed that. Um so if they do make some changes, I'm hoping that they're at least positive ones in a good way. Like, you know, there was so many different things that Splinter Cell has done, and they've all kind of, I don't know. They're all good games in their own way. So I'm hoping that if they say that this is supposed to be like a reboot kind of, so I'm hoping they don't. I'm hoping they don't make it too crazy, open world nonsensey. Like, that's the one thing I'm.
Yeah, I'm sick of open world games, man. Like
Yeah,
maybe it's just burnout, but like some games just don't need to
need it.
be open
Mm-hmm.
world. Yeah, it's just not needed.
Shut up, Lowe's.
Yeah, yeah, we don't need. I don't think Splinter Cell needs to be another one of those games where you have a gigantic map and you're checking off items on the map, and that's what you're doing for the entire game.
Yeah, I'm just tired of following an icon and riding a fucking horse across, this huge empty map, because that's what most of them are. Like, and that's where like games like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild do it right. Like, you can't wander off too far without something kind of happening. There's always something around the corner that gets your attention, or there's something to find, or a puzzle here or a puzzle there. Like, there's so many actual distractions scattered throughout the world, like discoveries and this and that. But some of these games, it's just like, and sadly, Assassin's Creed is, kind of one of those games for me. Not to say that they're bad games, but it's just that formula. And technically they're the ones that kind of started that formula. So,
Yeah.
they by all means, don't fix what isn't broken for you. But for me, I just kind of burned out on it. Like, just the maps just seem emptier.
Well,
Um, Odyssey specifically, I didn't feel like there was anything waiting for me around the bend. I didn't find a reason to go just explore the map other than the directions it was telling me to go. Like, okay, this icon is telling you to go here to bring this to so and so person. Outside of that, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna go wander off and see if I can find something, because there's just nothing to find, and that's the problem I ran into with a lot of games lately. Like, I mean, Starfield, I was not inclined to go wander anywhere. There wasn't anything to find most of the time. And that's just where my problem with open world, like, I like a good linear experience sometimes, because you see everything that the devs intended you to see. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? You get a better experience sometimes with a linear experience.
It's and the other thing is like, it depends, and we always talk about the perspective. It also depends on how you play, like how everybody plays a game differently. And so, I agree with you on the open world thing. It took longer for me to feel the fatigue of that, because I played all the way through Odyssey. I played all the way through Origins. Origins was the first one, and then Odyssey, and I played all the way through Valhalla. Now, by the end of Valhalla, I was definitely tired of that open world, go here, do this.
It just holds your hand too much, I feel like.
Yeah.
There's an icon for everything. You don't need to use your brain to find anything in
Now,
those games. They're like, it's here, just go get it.
you can turn that stuff off in Valhalla. They did give you the option to turn off all of that stuff to give you that experience of, like, getting directions from people and having to go explore on your own and find stuff. But the game is so massive that
Yeah, it's unreasonable, and it's
Mhm.
unmotivating to do
Yes,
that. It's just I don't,
exactly.
it's just not fun.
And it took me a lot longer, and what kept me invested in Valhalla as long as I was in it, until the point of the story, until the point of the end of the story, was the story, just because I had grown attached to Ivor's story, and I liked where it was going, and so I wanted to see it all the way through, just for my own personal knowing. Like, I wanted to play it all the way through, and I was so close to the end. And so I continued to play, and I played it all the way to the end, and I kind of started the DLC, but again, it's another game that fell off. And
Yeah.
one of my best friends, Gage, he he got Assassin's Creed Mirage, and I've talked to him a little bit about it. Gage is, I would say he's much more of a RPG player than he is anything. He plays Overwatch, as a multiplayer gamer, but he is much more of a single player gamer, and um he's very much into different games than I am, and he has said that so far he's enjoyed Mirage for what it is, and I've seen a lot of mixed reviews on it. I don't plan on picking it up until it goes on sale for pretty cheap, and then I'm going to check it out just because I do want to see what it is for myself. Um uh because a lot of people are saying it was, they were trying to go back to what Assassin's Creed used to be. So I'd like to see that for myself. I haven't watched anything on it because I kind of want to play and experience the story myself, because I finished the Valhalla story. And this game, apparently Assassin's Creed Mirage was worked on as a DLC first. It was supposed to be a DLC for Valhalla, and they fleshed it out into a full-fledged game. So, like I said, I'm gonna wait and get it when it's cheap, and I'm gonna check it out because I am interested in the story.
I think a lot of people commended them for the return to form on the newest game, but I think it was just, the effort put into that form.
I think
it's like they don't want people to like that, so they're kind of like shooting themselves on the foot to give everyone what they're asking for, but then to try to prove them wrong that, oh, this isn't what you really wanted. See, it's not that good.
It's a big part of that, and I also think it's a little bit of too little too late also, if you will.
Absolutely.
I mean, how many times have we gotten, I mean, even with Mirage going back to its, form of what Assassin's Creed is, it's an Assassin's Creed game at the end of the day. We know what we're going to be doing. We're going to be following, we're going to be eavesdropping, we're going to be assassinating, we're going to be stealing. That's what it is. It's just a different story. And that gameplay loop can be rewarding and exciting in its own way. I've definitely put my time into all of those games.
Dude,
doing that.
I play them for the linear story.
Yeah, my personal
stories used to be so great in those games, man.
My personal favorite one forever will always be Assassin's Creed 3, the one where you're the Native American and you're in America.
That's a great one,
fighting the Britons. I love that game so much. It is so good. The story, I've bought it. I have the remastered version on my Xbox. I have the remastered version on my Switch because I love that game that much. I wanted it portable as well. And it actually plays pretty good on the Switch. I was impressed. So, but those games they're so entertaining to me, and I at least that one is. And they used to be, I felt like I don't know, like I said, I love the change up in the fighting style, because in Valhalla and stuff, it's, you can fight enemies that are way higher level than you and still win, but it's difficult. And if you know how to dodge and parry and do the moves right, you can fight some difficult enemies. But I do kind of miss, like, what I loved about Assassin's Creed was you're an assassin. You've been fighting for years you've been training for years in the art of fighting and killing people. So the whole, the counter kill thing made sense to me, that you could just, lay out a group of dudes with a couple blades because you were better than everybody else. That was the whole point of the game.
Right.
At least from where I stood. So I enjoyed that. I like, Assassin's Creed 4 was that last good big one where you could just like, oh, is there 25 guys in front of me? Watch this. Take them all out and then move on to your next objective. Like, I enjoyed that just because it made you feel powerful. Like, some people might have gotten sick of that gameplay loop, but it made you feel powerful while you were playing it.
Yeah, I think Assassin's Creed maybe 2 or 3 might be my favorites. I can't really decide. They were just so good back then.
Yeah, they were. The stories were super good. Like the Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed 2 Brotherhood, and Assassin's Creed Revelations, the Ezio stories are 3 of the best games that I have ever played. They're still up there in my top 10. Like, all 3 of those games were so much fun, and they did a great job of showing the progressions of Ezio as he got older and his skill sets. And then the third one, Revelations, was, I thought, awesome, where they they kind of showed Ezio's age a little bit. So it was, I thought they did a great job back then with those games. And you know, there's a lot of arguments to say that, you know, like the one thing I notice, and I'm ignorant to this stuff, I'm no developer, but I notice how much bigger games are when we download, and you know, we want all this crazy, all these new graphics and stuff, and I want them to look fantastic, but at the same time, like, I don't know how much work goes into all that stuff. So like we're talking.
That's kind of funny that you mentioned that, because I was going to bring this up about COD earlier. I think the base download for that is like 200 and
Yep.
what, 220 or 212 or some bullshit.
Yep.
But that is, it's so unnecessary and so uncompressed, and I think a lot of these game makers, like, they just don't want you to play another game.
Yeah.
They want to fill your hard drive is what's going on here.
And see, and like, you know, and I feel like, I wonder where the line is of like, what is the line of like, how much do we need to sacrifice for, you know, for gameplay content, for graphics? Where's the line at? You know, like, I wonder that all the time when I'm playing these new games.
Well, at least compress your assets a little bit, Call of Duty. Jesus Christ, they're just making it blatantly obvious. It's not even like a fucking open world game, and it's like 200 gigs. Like, where is all that data at in that game? Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's like Call of Duty was bad. Also, you know, like when I
Destiny was getting bad there towards the end too.
Yeah,
but to their defense, it's like a 100-year-old game with 1,000 expansions, I guess. But still, like, at its core, it's still like not really a whole lot for the amount of data that it was.
So yeah, so where do we draw the line at, like, you know, because like I think back to the good old days when, you know, on 360 and PS3, when games were like, the maximum download size for a game was like 20 something gigabytes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, the good old days.
Yeah, it was like maximum was 20 something gigabytes. And, you know, I could think of some bangers that I spent hours and hours playing, like a game that I was thinking about the other day, Army of Two.
Yes.
Dude, those games were incredible, and they were so much fun. And if you had someone to sit there and play that game with, either online or couch co-op, I could play that game for hours. It was so much fun.
Great games.
And that game wasn't fucking 75 gigabytes, 80 gigabytes, 100 gigabytes. Like, I just, you know,
some of my favorite, most replayable games are indie titles that are like 10 gigabytes, like Hades. That game I've put hundreds of hours into, and it just has this, you know, kind of go through and die gameplay loop, and it's so addictive. It's just like, it's just creative what you can do with such a small amount of space if you know, limit yourself a little bit.
I still play Skate 3 to this day, all the time.
Oh, that game is GOAT, man.
Yeah.
I actually emulated that not too long ago.
Speaking of Skate, I did want to bring this up when we were talking about video game stuff earlier, but it reminded me. There was a Twitter post someone shared. Eli shared it, actually. Shout out to DeathcoreDad. He shared it on Facebook, if I do remember correctly. We got kind of an official announcement for Skate 4. It has been being worked on for a while. I know I talked about this in another podcast, and in one of our other episodes. It has been being worked on for a while. But they're hinting that it's looking like a 2024 release for Skate 4, and it's supposed to be a free to play game. So
that's what's got me a little bit worried, is the free to play aspect, but cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic, exactly. I know that it's a lot of the original Skate team that's working on this game, so I'm hoping that passion is there still, regardless.
Yeah, and it's not to say that the developers on any game aren't passionate. It's the fucking publishers that, you know, are making them do a lot of this.
Oh yeah. Well, and I'm not saying that at all, but it's, you know, it's like you said about Call of Duty with, you know, a lot of the old team isn't there. You know, if the people who originally were working on Skate are working on Skate again, I'm hoping it's going to be a little bit, you know,
I just hope it isn't microtransaction fucking hell. Like, yeah, sure, give it a season pass. I understand that you need to recoup your money on your free game, you know, just like I don't give Fortnite a lot of shit, because I feel like they do a lot of things right. You can buy a season pass and make your V-Bucks back for the, as long as you play the game, you get rewarded sort of thing. So
well, it's like even
hopefully they have some kind of model that's fair and not just like you get charged $20 per skateboard graphic or some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what I foresee. That's what I'm expecting. That's what I'm expecting.
Like you said, Fortnite does it in a way that's fair. Like even their Fortnite crew thing, their monthly subscription that's on Fortnite, in my opinion, it's a good deal. It's like $11.
It boils down to fun for me. Like if I can play a game for free and have fun without spending a penny, you're doing something right. You know what I mean? If I feel like I have to spend a ton of money to keep up and have fun with people, you're doing something wrong. Like if I feel like I need to buy the season pass because all my friends are doing it and there's this one specific thing locked behind the season pass, and you know what I mean? Like Fortnite has a rotating shop. Like you if you want something very badly, you can usually just buy it. And granted, the prices are a little high on the skins, but at least you get what you get. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's a free game, so they're entitled to do whatever the fuck they want, in my opinion. But
yep,
I feel like that's more of a pass.
Yeah, no, I think Fortnite at least has some more fair, things about it. We'll see what happens with Skate. I'm hoping that, some of the things I've read about it, they're saying that they want this game to be more community driven. So they're talking about, community added maps and stuff like that, like the community making Skate maps and stuff. And it makes me a little sad just because, knowing that this game is going to be free to play means it's not going to be anything close to what Skate 3 was, which is really what I wanted. Like if
I just want a full-blown game where you pay for it and you can just unlock things by playing the shit. That's why so many people are gravitating towards games like that, like Baldur's, and spending so much time because they're just offering so much, granted, at a full price tag, but you pay the money and you get the things. I think people are just really, really missing that. And I've been gravitating towards a lot of indies that are like that, or just playing old games where it's just like, I don't care if they had to charge $120 for games now. I would gladly pay it if, if I could just unlock everything just by playing the game, not doing these daily and weekly challenges and fucking bullshit. Like, just let me play your game, let me veg out on it for a couple months and just move on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we'll have to see because, like, I enjoyed Skate 3 for the story that was in it and the way you progressed through and you were like starting your own board company and all that stuff. So, with that spirit seemingly gone, at least until, we get our hands on it and we see for ourselves. I'm a little nervous myself just because I definitely the free to play thing always makes me nervous because it's like, what are they going to lock behind a paywall? Are they going to lock the ability to download maps behind a paywall? Like, what is it?
And right, it's just getting abused, this whole free to play thing. Like, there is a lot of games that do it right, but there's a lot of games that are just doing it flat out wrong now. Yep.
And because unfortunately the publisher behind this game is EA, it's going to be extra filthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just caution everyone to just never pre-order games anymore. There's just no there's no incentive to do so. You're just a play tester in a beta, essentially. So save your shekels. Let the people with that are getting paid to review these games, let them do their jobs, and then kind of take your opinion from there. Because someone like EA, they just really can't be trusted.
No, they definitely can't. So it's gonna be an interesting freaking. It's gonna be. We'll have to see. I think it can go either way at this point with Skate. But let's hop into the TVs and movies section here.
Yes.
Let's do it.
Kyle,
yeah. So we have the actor strike is finally over. Yay.
Okay.
Hog.
Finally.
Haven't seen too specific details like numbers of dollars and yada yada, but it is 3-year contracts for the WGA and the Actors Guild, or the SAG-AFTRA. So both are on 3-year contracts. Next up would be the video game industry. The only thing I couldn't find there is when the deal was supposed to be completed before the strike actually initiates, but they did vote to initiate a strike if the deal was not reached, if that makes sense. So I haven't seen details on that, but hopefully we hear more on that in the coming days. Let's see here. But some of the things I found for the deal was this is the largest increase in minimum wages in the last 40 years. Brand new residual for streaming programs. Extensive consent and compensation protections in the use of AI and sizable contract increases on items across the board. And I couldn't really find on much what those items specifically were. But lots of good news. I watched a quick little live from Zachary Levi, who was like, we're not going to get everything that we want, but as long as like, you know, the AI and their safety and all that is addressed, I think most of them will be pretty happy. With the strike officially being kind of over, some projects announced that, you know, they're moving with production. We got Superman Legacy, which is still on track for July 11th, I think it was, or June 11th. I'm mixing up the months here, but 2025. Minecraft, Tron 3, and Mortal Kombat 2 are all going to begin filming in early 2024.
Ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah, got some good stuff coming. And it's still early since the announcement that that deal was signed, so more things coming for sure. Producers of Sicario 3 have not found a director, but ensure the film is being worked on. I haven't watched the second one actually, but the first one is really good. I don't know if you guys have watched those. Sicario.
I have not.
Well, fine. Today we're actually supposed to be expecting a Rebel Moon trailer. It's the final trailer before the movie comes, and that's part 1.
Okay.
For sure.
I was trying to look to see if it had dropped yet, but I think it's tonight it drops, so be on the lookout for that. Remake of The Longest Yard is in the works.
Another one?
Yeah. It seems kind of right though, because I mean the first one was Burt Reynolds, second one was Adam Sandler. So what? We're about 20 years. Seems about right.
I guess so. I wonder what
I don't
want
to do this every 20 years, but
I'm nervous about what they're gonna do with it. Like, man, Adam Sandler's The Longest Yard is gonna be so hard to beat, man. That movie was so goddamn funny. I laugh so hard even to this day when I watch this movie. Joey Diaz is one of my favorite people in that movie. Can of corn, and I'll be fine. I love that movie, dude. So
there's a lot of like good cameos too. Like we had Michael Irvin, fucking 50s, or not 50 Cent, but oh my god, Nelly.
Shit, didn't they?
There's a lot of good people in here in that.
Wasn't Burt Reynolds the old dude in that movie too? Yeah.
He came back for it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you know, watch them have Adam Sandler as an old man in the prison now.
I don't know. I'm curious, and you know, I thought the first, the original and the remake were good, so I'm definitely curious. But I don't want to do this every 20 years, sort of thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Just the world we live in, man. Everything's a remake, but hopefully it's a good one. At least.
Exactly. Shrek 5 is set to release 2025. I actually didn't know there was a fourth one, but there is.
There's a fourth Shrek
you kind of
movie?
you kind of lose track after a while, honestly, when they milk these franchises for so long.
Oh my god!
It's not titled Shrek 4, which is why I was confused. It's like
Bro,
Shrek,
I used to love The Land Before Time when I was a kid, and there's like 12 of those movies now, I guess.
Dude, there's so many of them. I love
those too, dude.
It's like
those are my shit.
Like Saw just came out with Saw X or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, Saw 10.
Yeah. Oh my god, get out of here.
I haven't seen a Saw movie since like the second one.
That's so
I
ridiculous.
After like 4 or 5, I was just like, okay, all right, it's crazy twists and crazy deaths. I got it.
Yeah. What's the new game?
Oh, what's his face is back, the original dude. So, Inside Out 2 comes to theaters June 2024. I know some people who will be excited for that. Pretty good animation movie. I enjoyed the first one.
I enjoyed for the take that it took on trying to explain emotions to kids.
Yeah, I thought it was very creative, honestly. I don't even have kids and I liked it.
Yeah, like I know,
I
like,
enjoyed it.
Like my wife thought it was weird and she didn't appreciate it, but I thought it was a really good way of explaining, like, here's like how your emotions, and when you're feeling different ones, like, just think these two people are fucking fighting or something. I mean,
yeah,
it's a really good
it's
take.
a good way to look at it.
Yeah, great analogy.
You guys watch the show The Bear? I hadn't really heard of it, but the actor was familiar. They just got renewed for season 3. I think that's on Netflix. The live-action series for Avatar: The Last Airbender releases February 22nd. It looks actually pretty good, not gonna lie, considering the live-action movie we got before, which was terrible.
I hate most live-action movies, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
Agreed. I do too. I'm not a huge live-action fan.
I usually just don't give them a chance most of the time. I probably missed out on some, good entertainment, but I just it's
very
so
few
cheesy.
ones.
Just some of it doesn't translate well for me.
Yeah, agreed. Like a lot of the Disney projects specifically.
Oh yeah, they're so
terrible.
weird, man. It's just like it's
so
some
terrible.
it's like Uncanny Valley. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got a quick...
Stranger.
Oh,
go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go for it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I got a little series I wanted to talk about that I'm excited to watch. It's a Netflix series. It's a limited 4-part series. It's called All the Light We Cannot See.
Appreciate you breaking up.
Oh, yeah, you cut out there.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
Okay. It's called All the Light We Cannot See. It's a limited 4-part series on Netflix. And it's about a father and a daughter who escape a French city during World War II to a coastal city. Yeah, I really like these old school World War II movies. I've always been a big fan of them. And the father is portrayed by Mark Ruffalo, so I'm definitely I'm a fan of Mark Ruffalo, so I'm excited to watch this movie. I think it'll be an interesting watch. But that's really the only thing movie wise or TV wise, I should say, I had to talk about that I've been keeping my eye on.
Nice.
And you've got Nintendo and Sony teaming up to make live action Zelda.
Oh yeah, that'll be interesting. I'm not too fond of a lot of Sony.
I mean, that one could be
projects,
interesting.
So...
I could see that one translating okay, but hopefully it's not too cheesy. There's a lot of video game movies tend to have this cheesiness. I don't know if you guys remember the old Mortal Kombat movies, but it kind of started there and just never ended.
The first one was great, and then it's just absolute shit.
The new Mario movie wasn't horrible. It didn't have that same level of cheesiness, but there was still something a little off. I didn't like Chris Pratt as the voice actor, honestly. It was just a little too generic, and they played it a little too safe. They should have just had the fucking Mario voice actor play that guy, honestly. But I don't know. I love Chris Pratt. Don't get me wrong. It was just kind of, I don't know. Just felt weird.
A little weird. Yeah. Just weird.
Dude, how about, you want to talk Mario? Go back to the John Leguizamo movie back in the 80s.
Dude, I love that movie though. Oh my god, I know it's such a bad movie, but I love it.
It is, but it's so good.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's one of those ones where it's absolutely just a dog shit movie, but dude, the nostalgia behind it is just like, ooh.
Right, exactly.
Oh, it kind of like gave me nightmares as a kid at first. It was such a weird movie, but because I'm like playing Mario, and then I was like, what is this? What?
Yeah.
This isn't the Mario I know.
A couple more things. Michael Keaton is set to return as Vulture in Spider-Man 4.
Is there actually a Beetlejuice movie coming for real? Do you guys know?
Yes.
Is that just okay? It's happening.
Yeah, sequel is happening. Yeah. Jenna Ortega. I can never remember her name, but Rihanna Ryder.
Yeah, Winona. Is that her name?
Yes, thank you. Yes, Winona. And then a couple other were confirmed. Michael Keaton as well. So yeah, that one's definitely coming.
I'm looking forward to that one. I love that old movie. It's so good.
Yeah, it'll be super fun.
for Halloween too.
PG rating, by the way, which is kind of weird.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize.
PG used to mean something different back in the day, though, I guess. Like, they actually wanted you to have parental guidance, but it just meant something different back then. There's a lot of weird, you know,
it was
definitely an adult movie, that's for sure.
Oh,
yeah, definitely.
It's just back then we weren't a bunch of pansies. Like, I'm sorry, but like,
yeah, I agree, man. Like, sensitivity in 2023, everyone's so oversensitive about everything.
No,
it's
crazy.
I just
my
seen a
parents
TikTok.
raising me were just like, you need to know what the world was, dude. At like age 4, they're sitting down like, this is Schindler's List. This is real.
Yes.
Like,
I just seen a TikTok.
Really happened.
I just seen a TikTok of some teenage girl listening to an Eminem song, and she's all, we need to get this man canceled. Do you hear the lyrics to his music? Yeah. And I was like, oh my god, it's happening. It's finally happening.
It was such a different time, dude. Like some of that shit that he released back in the day, man, like it would just, oh man, it just would not fly today.
Are you telling me
you're gonna tell him to go back? Because I would love to see them try and cancel Eminem.
You're telling me you're gonna cancel the guy who released an album cover that was a picture of him and his 4-year-old daughter dumping his ex-wife's body into the fucking water? I'm sure. Seriously. Tell me all about it.
Man, yeah, it was a different time back then. It's so weird what we've morphed into. It's like we were saying in the last pod, like I don't recognize the world as it is today, man. It's so weird.
No, and the even more bizarre thing about it is, because we kind of talked about it on the last pod, South Park. We were all raised on South Park. How in the fuck is it so sensitive out?
Seriously, man, I was raised on some weird shit like Ren and Stimpy and Rocco's Modern
Life
and
dude.
all that weird shit. Beavis and Butthead, like, oh my god. Yeah, just brain melting, just dumb shit. But it didn't matter, you know what I mean? Everyone's so weird about everything now. I remember when Beavis and Butthead actually got canceled, though. That's kind of when things, you know, started going downhill for society, I think, is when people took Beavis and Butthead too seriously and demanded that it be removed from TV.
I think the particle collider put us in a different dimension. As I blow out a dab.
You're putting yourself in an own dimension.
Listen, that's how I deal sometimes, okay? But
that's how I function.
It's funny that we bring up South Park, though, because like I've been returning to South Park a lot. I kind of stopped watching it for the longest time just because, like, you know, some of the humor is really immature and, you know, whatever.
Oh,
you
it's
know,
kind of dumb, yeah.
Yeah, kind of dumb.
Brow.
Yeah, it is a dumb.
Brow.
Yeah. A lot of just dumb, stupid, childish jokes in there, and that's kind of why I stopped. But like now, I'm kind of gravitating back towards it just because it's just a reminder of a better time.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing I loved about South Park is they did a really good job, in my opinion, of mixing in that lowbrow poop humor, if you will, with. Let me put Snooki in here as a monster and make her rape people just to like, you know what I mean? Like they did a really good job at that type of highbrow humor as well every once in a while. Like they throw
the shit where you just kind of want to look away. It's like a train wreck, but you keep watching it, you know, because it's just like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Like I watched the pandemic specials. I just watched the South Park and like Randy's like fucking a bat and all this crazy shit. And I'm just like, oh my god, what am I doing with my time right now? But then I'm just kind of like, you know, at least they push the boundaries, and it, you know, it is a reminder of a better time.
Dude, South Park has done some things that the Human Sentai Pad episode, I still think about that episode to this day. It is one of the funniest things I've ever seen, dude. And I'll never forget watching an episode of South Park and watching not only Santa Claus but then Jesus snort cocaine.
Seriously,
I just, you know, like, yes, give me more of that.
Think about the games, right? So when they came out with the Stick of Truth, you get boss abilities. So unlock Mr. Slave, and if you call in a boss ability, he literally jumps on the screen, rips his pants off, and then absorbs the enemy into his ass.
Yeah,
I'm glad you brought up the games because I literally just downloaded the Fractured But Whole last night because it's a fucking great game.
Yeah,
both of them are.
Yeah, both of them are awesome. Yeah, they're both awesome. I love the turn-based aspect. God, it's so good. It's like right up my alley because it's like all the South Park humor and then it's all turn-based.
It's playing a South Park episode. Like I even like
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I even like the first one.
Really
like it's
both of them could get turned into fucking standalone movies.
Yeah, South Park has always been something I go back to because I laugh. I consistently find myself laughing out loud when I'm watching that show. Family Guy.
I love in the opening sequence of that game, when you're doing the character select in the Fractured But Whole, like you can choose the difficulty. And if you go to hard mode, all it does is change the color of your skin to black. And the token's like, what the fuck, man?
Dude,
they did that. They did that in the Stick of Truth when he's having you select your class, and if you select Jew,
maybe it's the Stick of Truth that I was thinking of. Then yeah.
Friends.
I mix them up all the time. I thought that was hilarious.
No,
right off the get go. They both do. Okay.
Yeah,
it's been a while since I played them both. That's why I downloaded it.
It's that offset, like kind of anti-Semitic, racist, like just poke, and they're not saying it, but yeah, just like I said, you hovered on your class of being a Jew, and Cartman's like, oh, I guess we'll never really be friends.
yeah.
Dude,
I love Cartman's just takes on everything as you play the game. It's hilarious.
South Park, I love the boundaries they push. Like that is they just push the boundaries.
If they're not pushing boundaries, then I'm done with it.
Yeah,
I think those are going to be the next games that I stream for sure.
Oh, dude, that'll be awesome, dude. See, and that's that was the one thing I actually, it's sick that everybody's into such different stuff because, the retro games, I am just not I have such a hard time with some of the, like, especially if I didn't play it in the past. If I didn't play it in the past,
the thing is like I play the retro games because they're the games I played when I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pushing 40, you know what I mean? I've been playing games a really, really long time. And so like you'll get there. There'll be games that you love that are considered, like the PS3 is considered retro now. I don't know if you know that, but those games are retro. And once you get to a certain point, it's just like you're going to want to revisit those titles and they're going to be considered retro.
Well, and that's the thing is like that's actually something that, I'm personally, I get mad about the way PlayStation does their shit with their games sometimes because like I can't play Infamous 1 or 2 unless I get an emulator and figure out a way to emulate it, which I probably could. I just don't have the know-how to do that. Or I'd have to go find a PS3 with a controller and get the game on disc and fucking play it that way, which would cost me a decent amount of money, I'm sure, at this point.
You know how long people have been asking for them to remake Bloodborne onto any relative fucking console, man? Like what are they doing?
I know there's so many games, and this whole PlayStation Now thing irritates me because it's like I don't want to stream these PlayStation 3 games. I don't want to fucking stream it. I want to have it natively.
That's what I hated about digital, man. I bought into digital on PS3, but like there's so many games, hundreds of dollars worth of games on my PS3 account that it's just gone to time.
Yep.
Poof.
I know, and that is the one thing I don't like about digital, but
at least on Steam, like it doesn't matter what machine you're running Steam on, like those games usually, unless they're really, really old, like Fallout New Vegas kind of has problems on newer hardware. So you're kind of like better off playing it on older hardware or on a console, I guess. But like, I mean, it's very far few and in between, but like at least on Steam, they're very, very easy to keep you on digital, I guess.
Like I would pay decent money to get Infamous 1 and 2 on my PC or on my PS4. I would pay decent money to have them again. And
Bloodborne would sell so well because it was a Souls-like game, that was locked to 30 frames per second. If you just re-release that game in 4K 60, everyone would buy it again. It free money.
Yep. Let's see. We keep going back to video games. It cracks me up.
This is going.
We're all gamers.
While we're still on video games, though, I thought it was interesting. The Xbox is doing a lot better in Japan.
Oh yeah.
surpassed the PS5 in sales in Japan. So that's pretty cool for them. The Xbox has a history of just having awful, just terrible sales in Japan altogether. Like for instance, the PS4 in months previous was still outselling the new Xbox Series X and
S.
my
God.
Yep.
Yeah, and it's not even like a relative console, but yeah, they did surpass in Japan. The Nintendo Switch is just still fucking killing it, and that's why we haven't seen a new Switch yet, in my opinion. I think they had plans on it declining more than what it has, but it hasn't. In Japan alone this month, they've sold over a quarter million.
Jesus Christ.
It's crazy. I mean, on a weekly basis, they're selling 70K Nintendo Switches in just Japan alone. Japan has laws where they have to release this information, and so Fumitsu is kind of what everyone gauges sales or console sales from. So it's kind of what I'm going off of here in general. But yeah, I don't even know if we'll see a new Switch by next holiday season at this rate. If it doesn't, I mean, why would they? It's barely slowing down. I think all time.
Oh, you're cutting out, Joe.
Yeah, sorry. All-time sales is ridiculous. I can't find it, but yeah, they're not slowing down on the Switch sales. So I don't know that we'll see a Switch 2 anytime soon. I've heard rumors about it, but my guess it's still 2 years off. That's my take.
See, and I heard that they have already kind of previewed the new model behind closed doors.
Yeah, I've heard that too, but I don't think they're going to release it. That's
okay.
my opinion, though. I'm probably wrong.
I mean, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I love hearing all the rumors. That's what I hear all the time is all these different rumors. So I love.
Yeah, I mean, the Switch 2 is inevitable. It's definitely going to happen. Oh, 130 million all-time sales. Wow. So they're fast approaching the best-selling console of all time, which is like the Wii, I think.
Okay.
Or yeah. So
yeah,
there's that.
All right, well that's fucking nuts. Honestly, it shocks me that Xbox outsold a PlayStation console over there.
In Japan.
I'm sure though it has a lot to do. A lot of people say that it has to do with a part of it has to do with the size of the consoles, and I bet you most of those sales were Series S.
Well, the thing is Sony is a Japanese company, so they're going to do really well in their home essentially.
Oh yeah.
And they've had their footprints in Japan well before Xbox was even a thing. So
yeah, no,
and they just kind of make games more focused, like the JRPGs. That's a Japanese role-playing game. Like Sony, makes those games for those people. So they cater to their their home essentially. So their home really eats up their consoles most of the time.
I think we'll definitely see I think we'll definitely see that not last just because
I think the reason why we're seeing better sales of Xbox in Japan is because Game Pass has had a healthy flow of JRPGs coming in and out of Game Pass.
They actually,
and the Series S is a very good looking console, and that's what's selling really well in Japan is the Series S.
It's compact.
Hardly any Series X's. I mean, it's a great looking console. I love my Series S.
It's compact. It's and also the other thing that I think is really cool that Series S has, and I'd like to see the numbers, is I want to see how many of those screens have been purchased that attach onto the back of the Series S.
I considered one, man. That is so convenient.
Yeah,
like for
that's
traveling,
what I'm
honestly.
saying. Or like if you
because
live
that's
in a
what I
small
travel
apartment.
with is my Xbox.
Or if you live in a really small apartment, like we all we all know what some of those Japanese apartments look like. They're tiny as shit. It's like New York apartments. So the more space they can save, the better. And if you can get a console that you can put a decent screen that does 60 frames on the top of it and it attaches to it, and you don't have any
and powers it and everything. You don't even have to have an external cord for it or anything. It's so clean.
Yep, and that's that. So I can understand why the Series S is selling more. That doesn't shock me at all.
Yeah, I almost pulled the trigger on one of those screens, man, just because of how nice it looked.
Yeah, no, Ty was talking about it, but I think you've been over here and seen Ty's. One of my good friends, he has this awesome setup. He bought one of actually Joe's Series S's, and he has this really old school like 1940s luggage crate that he modified and put a computer monitor in and like has fans built into it and stuff to keep everything cool, and he put USBs so he could charge his phone. Like, it's sweet as hell, but it looks like an old school piece of luggage, and he got stickers on it and stuff. So that's kind of what he carries around when he goes places.
I didn't see it with the I saw it with his old Xbox, but I didn't see it with the Xbox that I sold him.
Yeah, now that the little one's in there, he's got tons of space in there. It's really cool.
I bet, man. Yeah, they're like what 20 or 30% smaller from the last.
Significantly smaller.
Yeah, they're so clean, man. They're just nice to even just have on the desk. You know what I mean? 100%. I just love the way they look.
No, I 100% agree with you. I think that was, like we talked about, the choices for how much power's in that thing and the limitations on development are going to be interesting to see with these new games coming out, because they're getting bigger, they're looking better, they're demanding more. So we'll have to see, in the future what's going to happen with the Series S. But as for now, I kind of give them a W for that, because they're selling tons
of them.
Huge
W, man. Like, I was looking into the specifications, just because we were more mindful of power usage when we were living in an RV. And so I was using this thing or whatever and looking at the specifications, and it's something like 70 watts max usage, like while gaming. And that's impressive for what you're getting. Especially when you're playing, some of these esports titles, you can get 120 frames out of it. And 70 watts is insane. Like, if you're getting that kind of performance out of a PC, you're going to need like 300 or 400 watts, minimum. So yeah, very impressive, actually.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. I mean, it's cool that they made something affordable for people to use and to get into the game with. Get into gaming.
Yeah, with. Yeah. Traveling with those things is so nice, man. They're great.
So, was there anything else movie-wise, TV-wise, Kyle? Sorry, we keep changing the subject.
Oh, no, you're good.
Not bad.
Just a couple of quick things. Venom 3 new release date is November 8th of next year.
Okay.
And then Stranger Things, yeah, they announced it literally day of this year, November 8th, so a year out from their announcement.
Okay.
And then Stranger Things announced or teased their opening script for season 5.
Okay.
The final season.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Still haven't watched that, but I feel like I'm going to.
It's a pretty good series. I think, was it season? I think it was 3 or 4. It was like kind of short.
My wife has watched it like 3 or 4 times, and I've kind of like glanced over while she's watching it, and it's kind of struck my interest every time. So I should probably watch it.
Yeah, it was one of those ones where I when it first started coming out, I watched the first like half of season 1, then I kind of lost interest, and then my daughter started watching it, and she's just like, "You should watch it. I'll watch it with you." I was like, "All right, cool." Sat down, and yeah, now I'm waiting for that final season.
Hell yeah.
Oh
yeah, that's it for me.
I guess we just finished season 8 of Flash. I haven't talked about
Flash in a minute.
I just finished season 8 of Flash. Yeah.
What did you think of the finale? The meditation scene where he defeats Thawne.
Yeah, I thought that was sick, and I really appreciated it, but I also wish we could have got a little bit more of their epic battle, because for a couple minutes there were essentially 2 gods battling inside Central City, and I didn't get enough of that. I didn't get enough of watching them fight, because Barry was pissed, and we all know, if you're there and you've watched it, we all know that Barry was planning on killing Thawne. He was gonna kill that motherfucker that time, and I was rooting for it. I was excited. I wanted to see a smackdown. I needed it to be more dramatic.
And then you remembered it was on CW.
Yep, and then Iris showed up too soon, and it ended it. I mean, dude, CW, I have to give him credit. Okay, I talked about this last time a little bit.
They put out good stuff.
That Ride the Lightning scene when Barry was jumping off of his own fucking lightning bolts and they had Metallica playing, that shit went hard as hell. I was stoked. I was like, okay, this has got me back on the Flash wagon a little bit over here. This is sick. But I'm interested to see what the beginning of season 9 is going to be, because the way season 8 ends, and yes, spoilers alert for anybody who hasn't watched it. The way season 8 ends, the last scene there with uh Chill Blaine or whatever the hell that dude's name is, the annoying criminal guy, Frost's boyfriend, when they're trying to bring Frost back. I want to know who the hell just woke up in that cryo chamber, because I know it's not Caitlyn and I know it's not Frost. So I'm definitely not excited to find out if we're gonna have to deal with another villain who looks like a friend. I'm I'm getting sick of that one. Oh, if anybody sees my gameplay, I found a nice glitch on the Warzone map.
I see that.
I just looked up and seen that. But
I just know the villain is Red Death, and there's an interesting take on that character because the origin is different than the actual origin.
Okay. The Red Death will be interesting. I still think the best villain that they've had, period, unfortunately, funnily enough, was Barry himself as a time remnant and Savitar. Still my favorite villain out of all of them.
I think as far as any of the DC CW shows go, by far the most intimidating villain, Savitar.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely the scariest one in the Flash. But yeah, I'm at this point, I'm dedicated. We're in season 9. We're gonna finish it out, and I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Yeah, let me know, because I know the twist that it is, but I'm just curious.
Okay, yeah, I'm pretty excited to see. You know, like I said before, and I will say again, I don't think the CW's Flash can survive without a Harrison Wells in some form or another. Be it him as Harrison Wells himself or him as Eobard Thawne. I don't think it'll ever go away. So I'm excited to see where they put him this time. Are we going to get more timeless Wells, or is Eobard not really dead? I guess we'll have to find out, because I'm dedicated at this point. And then
you need to watch Gotham.
Yes, I think. Well, we're gonna I'm gonna take a comic book break, and we're gonna watch that show I was just talking about, that limited 4-part series.
Nice.
We're gonna watch All That the Light Can See, or All That the Light Cannot See, or whatever. I forget now already what it's.
I think you're right the second time.
Yeah, I got stoner brain. But we're gonna watch that. We're gonna watch that. And then, also a little sad news in the TV news. I don't know if anybody here besides myself was a fan of Top Gear UK, the original Top Gear UK, and the cast. They moved on to Amazon to start a show called The Grand Tour, and I've watched every episode of The Grand Tour. And if you are a fan of Top Gear UK, The Grand Tour is that, but with Amazon's budget. And it was fantastic. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
They were doing all kinds of funny stuff. And Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and God, I always forget the third guy's name with the longer hair.
I know.
I always forget his name. I always call I you know how I remember him more than his name? Captain Slow. That's what I remember calling him, is Captain Slow. And because that's what they call him all the time. And unfortunately, Jeremy Clarkson did his Jeremy Clarkson thing, and apparently offended some people in Amazon, and they canceled both of his shows that were on Amazon.
No.
So no more Grand Tour on Amazon. Yes, I was pretty freaking depressed about it, because those three together on TV are
fucking handful.
Dude, they're so funny though. The chemistry between those three is so great. Like, every episode is just so much shenanigans. They're always pranking each other and doing shit to each other's cars. I love watching it. So I was very, very sad to hear that Top Gear, or that the Grand Tour is canceled, and there's going to be no more episodes.
Yeah, that sucks.
That sucks.
Yeah, because it was, I think, a fantastic show. So, but that's only TV news I got. No new music for me, I can tell you that. Nothing new that's come out for me that I'm just been all about.
There are some new bands that I'm into, or new albums that I'm into. Dying Wish dropped an album, Symptoms of Survival, I think it was called.
Okay.
I haven't really been into that band like too much in their past, but this album is really good. I've enjoyed it. Slipknot posted and then deleted that they fired Jay Weinberg from the band.
Whoa.
Interesting. They haven't responded yet. Jay finally responded yesterday. Really long post, but more or less, heartbroken, blindsided by the whole thing, but forever grateful, because if it weren't for the 10 years he spent in Slipknot, he wouldn't be here today making a post saying how much he's grateful for the opportunity. So just kind of
I wonder
out
why.
of the blue.
I wonder why he got fired.
Who was he again?
Jay, he was the new drummer since Joey passed.
Yeah, man. It's hard to say in that situation, but it seems like drummers are kind of disposable in this world a lot of the time, and he had some really big shoes to fill, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's true.
Even in their post, they brought back like the Joey, like no one could ever replace Joey, and it's like, dude, didn't we move on from that? Like, if you're gonna fire the guy, just tell him good luck, and that's it, move on.
Like, sorry, but you just weren't quite right, dude.
Well, the whole thing with Slipknot now is like it's the Corey and Clown show, so it's two dudes who make the decision making.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, maybe sometimes enough is enough, in my opinion. I love Slipknot. I grew up on Slipknot. But, sometimes you just got to leave people wanting more. And I think the best example of this is bands like Tool, that don't have releases all the fucking time. You just kind of like leave the people wanting more. And then who's the other one? Mudvayne. I mean,
they're working on an album.
Exactly. I mean, but they had such a cult following because, you know what I mean? It just wasn't overdone. Like when they stopped when they felt like they had said it all, sort of thing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But sometimes it just feels a little forced, in my opinion. It's like you said, it's the Corey and Clown show now.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. Like, I wear that band on my arm forever now. And
like, if Jonathan Davis left Korn, I probably wouldn't see Korn anymore.
Yeah, big reason why I'm a huge Slipknot fan, other than I love metal, and that's where it all started. But like, Joey is one of my biggest icons in my
he's like
life.
My idol as a drummer, man. Like, I looked up to that guy for sure. He's the best of the best. He's the GOAT.
I don't think they could have found a better replacement. I didn't think at the time Jay was it, because his first show, like, I heard stumbling and stutters and stuff, but after the first album came out and another cycle came through, like, he did a phenomenal job. 10 years of it, and I love watching his clips of his playthroughs. So definitely weird. Slipknot's not one of those bands to make a decision like that and to then delete it. They're very careful and they're always hush hush.
For sure.
So definitely weird, and I'm curious to see what Corey or Clown say.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of funny, like in Korn's situation, when they lost their drummer, he was just kind of an arrogant fuck, and really, and he didn't really. He was really good, and he did bring a very specific sound, to the band. But on the other hand, like when he left, and they had drummers, like, because Joey was on one of the albums for Korn, their self-titled #1 album. He filled in because they hadn't found a permanent drummer yet, and so they had drummers like Joey Jordison, and then they had fucking Terry Bozzio, which is like a world-renowned drummer that like does concerts just by himself on his like 100-piece drum set.
Yep.
And so it was kind of eye-opening, and it's like, what did you bring to the table, man? Because he was kind of arrogant the whole fucking time and just kind of an asshole. So he was replaceable, in my opinion. And I did love him growing up, but it was kind of eye-opening. But someone like Joey, man, those are some really hard shoes to fill. He was a very important and probably one of the higher talents, probably the highest talent in that band, in my opinion.
I would agree, definitely.
Kind of like when Head left Korn for that time, I wasn't as into Korn. Like, Jonathan Davis is one of the higher talents. Monkey's very talented. Fieldy has kind of been in and out of the band, with drugs and stuff like that. But I mean, I felt like Head was a very important high talent part of that band, and they kind of weren't the same after he left. I was still very much into Korn, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah, I definitely could like feel the shift.
Dude,
I mean, you could say the same for Slipknot too. There's definitely a shift with Jay taking over.
Yeah, for sure.
I felt the same way about Avenged Sevenfold after the Rev passed away.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very much changed the way I felt about that band. So,
yeah, I mean, sometimes it's just like that is, if you have a very specific sound like that, it's just like you gotta hang the hat up and just, call it quits, in my opinion.
Yeah. There's definitely some people who just influence the sound.
Lowe's, you've been real quiet over there. You got anything fun you've been watching, listening to?
Yeah, Lowe's. Never mind, you're muted. Shut up. He's just been muted this whole time is the problem.
Has he? I can't even hear him.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
I
don't know.
What?
Let me look at my party, make sure he's.
I see him talking, but I don't hear him. Do you guys hear him?
Oh, it said I have a. It looks like there's. It shows on my Xbox. Oh, there it goes. It just went. The mute thing went away. Oh, I still can't hear him.
No, can't hear him either.
Lowe's, you might have to. You might have to leave the Discord and rejoin.
Yeah, I had to restart Discord myself.
Yeah, I changed all of his settings yesterday to make sure that he was good to go. So
I actually had to go into my Discord settings and change the audio.
Can you
for whatever reason?
How about now, Lowe's?
Weird.
Nope.
Strange.
Still no. God damn.
Discord is dude. Discord is fickle. That's why I kind of like using.
Can you
the
hear
Discord.
me now?
Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Hey.
What the heck? I've been like talking this whole entire time too. Like, why is nobody responding to me? Is it because I'm new?
I'm so sorry, dude. Fuck.
Dude,
I've been trying to like speak to you guys.
I saw
Like,
you
fuck,
lighten
everybody's
up.
speaking over me, so I'm just listening. And I was like, all right.
No, dude. I was thinking about how quiet you've been. So
No, you're good.
What do you got to say over here?
I've been trying to say some stuff. I forgot now, but series-wise, Kayla and I were watching Joe Pickett, super good series, and they freaking just ended up canceling that shit. They canceled the second season. I'm so mad.
Oh no! I read.
Yeah, dude.
I'm working on the book series right now. It's fucking good.
Dude, the series is amazing. But
Okay.
the next one was supposed to come out in a few years, and they canceled it because I forgot what the reasoning. But yeah, I'm pretty bummed out about that.
Okay.
Other than that, I've been freaking see like movies and stuff. The series. See, I'm watching like those Love Is Blind or Find Your Love series because I don't know what else to watch, dude. Like I've seen everything. Netflix is just. We have Netflix and Hulu. It's just nothing. We've just seen so much. I just don't know what to watch.
We got Max right now.
Gotta get some Max.
Yeah, that's what we've been watching stuff on is Max. We've been watching
My
Friends.
PC hub. So
We've been watching Friends again, and
What I heard you say Gotham earlier. What's that about?
it has no affiliation with like the CW shows like the Arrow and the Flash. It's just its own entity of everything Batman, and it's the origin of Bruce Wayne. But basically, the whole show is like him as a kid rather than him as Batman, and it's like progression of how he becomes Batman. So it's really cool. It's one of the best shows when it comes to like costumes and design. Yeah. I think no other like comic book show touches it.
The vibe,
it's phenomenal.
The vibe on everything I've seen on that, it just is what I would think Gotham is. Like every time I think of Gotham, I think of a dirty, wet, cloudy, shitty ass, dirty city. It smells like exhaust fumes.
LA and Seattle mixed in.
Moist.
Yeah, I think more like New York. I think of more like New York. Just a wetter, dirtier New York. It's, you know what I mean?
Oh, I gotta go check on this food. Hold on. I can hear you guys though.
Okay.
I love the origin of the villains in that show specifically. I think those are like some of the best parts of the show.
Okay.
Is the origins for those guys.
Okay.
100% will agree with you on that one.
Definitely.
That show was just it was great because they gave you the origin story on people you didn't think, like Harvey Bullock, or even moving into the deep dive into Jim Gordon himself.
Yep.
Like it was,
and there's kind of a shift in narrative too. Like it almost kind of transitioned to the Jim Gordon show at times.
Yeah, but it really
is such a good character,
right? Well, and the actor that played him,
he was awesome.
But it really felt like Gotham centered around like everything. So to have Gordon in the center is kind of that. we want to say the linear point of view, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me, I loved it. I fucking loved it.
Yeah, me too.
No, I'm definitely planning.
It almost ended the way I wanted.
I definitely am planning on checking that show out at some point. I can nerd out about a book release. I can talk about this a little bit. Yeah, because I've been listening to it. If anybody in here besides me has read the Christopher Poloni's Eragon series, I'm a huge fan of those books. They came out when I was in middle school. The first one did, Eragon, and
Right.
it's I would compare it. It's about a kid who discovers a dragon egg, hatches it, and becomes a dragon rider. That's long story short. There are 4 books, and the first 4 they're written by a guy who's from Montana. He's from Helena, and they tried to make a movie out of the first book. It was god awful, and the books are. I've listened to the audiobooks now, but he just released his 5th book, like major book in the series, and it's about a different character from the series. And so I found out if you have Spotify Premium, you get free audiobooks. There are certain audiobooks you get to listen to for free with Spotify Premium, and I found out that his new book is one of them. So I have been going hard on that the last couple days. When I get the chance, I've been listening to it, and my goodness, I compare this story to Lord of the Rings for me. Like the books are so good. They're so good. They got dwarves and elves and dragons and magic and really awesome fight scenes that are descripted so well, and the book is dark, and then it'll make you laugh, and it's such a all 4 books are so well written. If you have not read them, I cannot recommend enough that you find them and read them. And one of the best things about the book for me was in the very beginning, in the first couple pages, there's 2 different illustrations of the full map of the world that this book takes place in, called Allegasia. And it's really awesome to have that map in the very beginning of the book, because as you're reading, it gives you a place to kind of reference like where they're at and how big of a journey that this guy takes around this continent that is Allegasia. They're such great books. I can't recommend them enough.
Dude, if they can do the show good, oh, it's gonna be sick.
Oh, you've read them?
Yes.
See,
it was big shit in Corvallis when those books came.
Oh yeah, dude. I feel like everybody was reading those books. Like there was never a copy in the library when they started coming out.
Big time.
And they, like I said, I compare them to Lord of the Rings. If a TV adaptation in any way was done correctly, it would rival Lord of the Rings for me. Like I think it can be that good. It just has to be done correctly. Yeah, because the movie that they released, I got up and walked out like halfway through the movie theater. It was that bad. Like I paid money.
I remember.
I paid money to get popcorn and drink, and sat down and got halfway through the movie, and like I just stood up and was like, okay, I'm out of here. And I called and had my mom come and pick me up, because that came out before I had my driver's license, and I had my mom come pick me up because I was like, this is the worst. I cannot believe I just sat down and watched this.
Dude, yeah, I'm surprised they didn't capitalize more on that IP, because it was huge, like you said. I remember. I mean, I read them. I don't really remember because it was so long ago, but yeah, everyone was. It was almost like a Harry Potter type of craze.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Those books were huge, and I distinctly remember them being real big, and they were like my librarian put them out and advertised for them a lot because the author was from Montana. So like I don't know if people from other exactly. I don't know if other people in other states got that same kind of whatever, but we got pushed that a lot here because of that reason. I don't know where you went to school, Joe. Maybe you went to school somewhere else. I forget where you.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't live here.
Yeah,
That's
so
for sure.
okay, so exactly. So at least it was in other places, but I just remember that book being everywhere. So finally I picked it up and was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out. And God, it was I like I said, I'm listening to it's called Murtag is what that book is called, and it looks like it's pronounced Murtaugh, but it's pronounced Murtag, and it's about Aragon's brother. It's so far it's been awesome, and it's I'm really excited to get back into that again. It makes me want to. I might, now that I found out I can listen to them on Spotify, I might listen to the other ones just because I freaking love them so much. And if you're into audiobooks, I don't know if anybody here besides myself is into audiobooks, but if you're into it, they chose a guy who does really good at changing his voice for different characters while he's reading the book, so it doesn't ever get confusing while he's reading it. And he's
Nice.
he's got a really nice voice for this book. He does a great job. He's British. He does a great job.
Good.
But yeah, that's really the only other nerdy thing I got to talk about.
Yeah, I think
L0wes.
I think I'm nerded out.
Sorry, say that one more time.
You got anything else you want to nerd out about?
No, brother. Set. I'm annoyed. I was talking that whole entire time.
Oh,
though.
dude, I know. I'm so
what
mad.
is going on?
I feel like this happened all the way back at like my hockey segment. Like,
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Because
I was
I
like,
saw
he's being really quiet.
Yeah,
my
I
thing
thought
was lighting up, acting like I was talking. Maybe I was just really low and you guys didn't hear me or something. I don't know what.
No, it happened to me as soon as I came in too. Like my audio was. I could hear everyone, and Chow was like, "I can see you lighting up, but we can't hear you."
Attempting to participate as much as I could. So sorry
we
about
always
that.
have.
You did great.
We always have next week. We can always try again and make sure your audio is working.
Yeah, Discord is fickle as fuck, dude. Because I was literally just using Discord audio before this, and it was working fine. And then I switched over here, and then it started giving me troubles for no reason at all.
Yep.
Perfect.
But little plug for everyone. Make sure that you follow everybody on Twitch, YouTube, all the links. They will be down below, including L0wes. His links will also be down below. If you can, make sure to drop a follow, share, subscribe, all the stuff. I'm sure that a couple of these fine gentlemen will be playing some games on stream shortly after this ends. I'm not 100% sure. I got about 45 minutes worth of work to do here after we wrap up here. And then I will be gaming, but I won't be streaming. I will be gaming. So if anybody wants to play some games, let me know. I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll be on Call of Duty. I think in Sons of the Forest. My new work schedule, I'm like 4 days a week, and I gotta work 60 hours, so I get 3-day weekends. So my new streaming schedule is just straight weekends.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try to grind as much as I can tonight before I can't next 4 days.
Well, Kyle, are you gonna be playing anything?
Oh yeah, my brother's still here for a little bit, so I might be a little while before I get back on. We'll see what he wants to do, and then probably Warzone and/or Modern Warfare 3. So
yeah, just tell him to play Warzone, and I'll join you guys after I get everything started uploading.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, we can.
I'll be on Fortnite if anyone wants to play.
You know, that's actually something I thought about doing a little bit later. If I get the chance to stream tonight, Joe, I thought about hitting.
You can play with me, bruh.
I thought about hitting up Ken and Ty.
Yeah, me and Ken have been playing a lot.
Dude, Ken is one of my favorite people on the planet, and I met him because of Ethan, homie Ethan, that you know, one of our friends.
Yeah, and I just met him through you guys, and so I play with him and Ty all the time because they're the only ones that play Fortnite.
Yeah, me and Ken have become great friends just because of playing Fortnite, and that guy he's such a great guy. So,
but I actually might play some South Park later on too. I don't know. I doubt I'll stream it, but I'll probably start a playthrough. I might stream it. I don't know. We'll see.
Stream it.
Yeah. I want to see it.
It's so funny. I fucking love that game.
All right. Well, I appreciate everybody who hopped into the chat and was talking. L0wes, I'm so sorry that you had the audio problems.
It's all good.
We can try
again. I appreciate you being here, though. Man.
Yeah, dude. We'll try again.
Better luck next time. We'll do an audio check before we start.
audio. Make sure
our mute buttons work.
Yeah, make sure.
And like throughout the podcast, we'll just make sure everyone, if someone gets quiet, we'll be like, "Hey, you all right? You pooping?
You pooping?"
We're good. We'll just ask everyone if they're pooping.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to episode 5. This will be up on YouTube and Spotify for those who weren't here for the live showing of the episode. I'm glad that we're doing it this way now. It's kind of exciting. So
that's cool. I like it.
Yeah, for real.
But this will be up later on everywhere, almost everywhere you can listen to a podcast. There's like 1 or 2 places I didn't upload to because they're pretty niche podcast places, in my opinion.
Oh, I wouldn't worry about those ones.
So, all right. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Peace.
Thanks, y'all. Easy, fellas.
Right, see you guys later.